Mm-hmm. Wanted a guttural scream this morning. You want one, Benny? A little early for it.
It's kind of sexy with Barry White.
That's the thing, is it didn't really.
Do we give a sexy scream?
Oh
Yeah.
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 The perverted scream. What is your guttural yell? Have you ever gutturally yelled? Have I made you do this before?
Yeah, many times.
Many times?
Yeah.
Andros says, let Ben take the scream. All right. Longtime Padres fan, Ben Higgins. Here we go. Yeah! Oh!
Blew out the mic.
That's, I'm going to say this. That was better than I thought it would be.
Thanks.
It's not an insult. That was really, really good. You're not much of a screamer or a yeller, though.
No.
At all.
No.
That's Ben's gutter. That's as guttural as he gets. Good morning, everybody. Great to be here with you. Vibes are through the roof, certainly, here in America's finest city. And we all know that could change at any time. But today, we are in a great mood. And it's because our baseball team won yesterday and won a series, which says something about who we all are as people. And I know the people that listen to this show, you feel the exact same way. So great day. Should be a fun show. Everyone's in a fantastic mood. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Benjamin, how are you?
Here.
That's the best you got, huh?
I'm here.
Is it one of those days?
No,
it's a big
I'm
day
here.
for
I'm good.
you. It's
I'm
a big
good.
day for you.
Why is it a big day for
It's
me?
National Butterscotch Pudding
Is
Day.
it? Oh, I love butterscotch pudding day. Fantastic.
What's the matter? You want to talk about it?
No, I'm not. I'm good.
Oh.
I'm good.
You just said I'm here.
I'm here. I
That's
thought you were
not
taking
good.
roll.
No, that's
Sounds
not
like a cry
here.
for help.
It sounds like a cry
Here.
for help. What's really going on below?
I was thinking yesterday about what my life would look like after this show, and I don't know, many years from now, what am I going to do? We went to a groundbreaking event yesterday. You and I did.
We did.
And there were a lot of politicians there and like staff members.
I thought the same thing, actually.
And then we at Channel 10 we had the big mayoral debate last night for San Diego. And I thought, should I run for office at some point?
It's
later
weird.
in my
We've talked about
life.
this many times.
We've talked about it many times, and I saw.
Yes.
I know where your head was at because I thought the same thing. So yeah,
You should not run for office.
No, I never would. Manny Sedano, owner of Sedano Ford, is opening a Sedano Chevrolet in Santee, and so Ben and I, along with several dozen radio stars from around San Diego, were there. It was a very, very who's who of San Diego radio, was it not? And got to see some old friends, some old salespeople that I work with before. I haven't seen them in forever, but got to see our pal Dave Castor, got to see Greg Wolfson, a bunch of dudes that I just adore. And it was so nice to see them and catch up with them. And then, of course, we met Todd. Now, Todd is the GM of
Kearney Mesa Volkswagen,
which Ben is now doing endorsements for.
And now part of the Sedano Auto Group.
Todd was the best man at Chris Foster, our buddy, his wedding. Yes. And Todd is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Came up, introduced, hey, I'm Foster's buddy. I go, oh, man.
Does he talk normal?
He talks normal. Yeah, normal. Good. Completely normal.
Totally normal person.
So he says, make sure you ask Foster what he shaved his beard with the night before his wedding. And I go, so my mind starts racing, and I'm like, well, I mean, all right, clearly it's not like a razor because that's what everybody shaves their
obvious
face.
answer.
Obvious answer. I'm like, was it a sharp rock or something? Like what potentially could it be? Was it
an ice skate?
A straight razor, an ice skate is great. A sharpened ice skate, a switchblade maybe, butterfly knife. Hey man, I forgot my damn razor. Give me my switchblade.
Bowie knife.
The Bowie knife. So.
Holy crap.
So I texted Foster. I take a picture of me and Todd, and I texted Foster. I go, I met your boy today. He goes, oh, dude, he's the best. I said, he told me to ask you what you shaved with the night before your wedding. And he goes, I'm not telling you. And I go, well, I'm just going to get it out of Todd then. So I asked Todd. I go, he won't tell me. He goes, I'll tell you.
And now we're going to tell everybody.
And now I'm going to tell everybody.
This is on you, Foster.
If he had just told me, hey, I'm not going to tell, I'll tell you, but you can't talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to betray his confidence like that. But because he didn't offer it, I have to tell everyone. You're not going to believe this when you hear it. And I'm trying to figure out how to tap dance my way around it.
What he used to shave his face.
So all the groomsmen are hanging out, and before the wedding, and he goes, I've got to trim my beard. I look like a turd. Knowing Foster, he went out hard the night before, probably wasn't feeling his best, and he's like, I got to shave my beard. I look terrible. And Todd's like, I mean, I've got my electric razor that you can use, but I'm just telling you, I don't only use it on my face. I also use it down below. Nuts. And Foster was like, fine by me, got to do it. And I go, all right, I'm disgusted. And then I thought, have I done it? And the answer is yes, with my own, with my own, with your own, with my own, which is still look. It's still not great. It's not great, but you can
clean it up.
You clean it up a little bit. It's your own, so it's like, what's from my it's mine. But what I'm not going to do is go to Paul's Dop Kit and be like, what do you use this for? And Paul's like, it's my manscaper. All right, cool. I got to shave real quick. I'm not going to do that because it's Paul's. So this old hillbilly back there before his wedding.
Technically, it's all just skin and hair.
Yeah, but it's Todd's skin and
I
hair.
I get it. But
now you're rubbing that on your face.
But even if it was Todd's skin, if he had just used it on his face, he's still using it on his skin and hair.
Right.
It's really not.
But it's the undercarriage.
We make a big difference in our mind about it, but essentially, there's not really a difference.
There's a huge difference in that it's someone else's skin and hair.
Right.
And now it's on you. And it's the sweat, it's the grundle butter, it's all of it. It's all of it. It's someone's grundle butter on your face as you're about to walk down the aisle. And you're... But he was in a pinch. And it had to be done. He's not going to go out and buy a razor. So I said, well, Foster, next time you better tell me these stories and then tell me not to share them, and I won't. But if you don't tell me and I get it anyway, I have to tell you guys. So we actually had a good time out at the groundbreaking. I've never actually seen a groundbreaking. I'll be honest with you. I was a little jealous that I wasn't asked to come up and do
with a shovel, a golden shovel to scoop into the ground.
Yeah, I really wanted to do that. So that was fun. But
what do you like better, a groundbreaking or a ribbon cutting?
Groundbreaking, by far.
Groundbreaking's cool.
By far.
Yeah.
I would much rather do the shovel than cut the ribbon.
I suspect that the actual construction workers who were there and were already working don't really appreciate the work being done by the invited guests and the politicians of scooping one shovel of dirt. Thanks a lot.
Hey, look at these half-ass MFers over there doing this. This is terrible.
Custom-made shovel just for the event.
It's gold.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, you did. You got one scoop. Congratulations, bud. Attaboy. You tired? You need my gloves? You want to borrow my gloves?
Hey, everybody, let's go to lunch.
Hey, these guys are on it. One scoop. You idiots. Get back in your Teslas and get out of here. So these real men can do some work and build this beautiful facility here in Santee. Holy crap, dude. It's exactly. Now, again, they're like speaking and, okay, we'd like to introduce so-and-so from the Chamber of Commerce. And it's like in the background, it's like, beep, 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 beep. Like the work was not ceasing around us. I mean, we were right in the middle. It would be like somebody coming in and starting to build something in the middle of our show. Like we're just trying to broadcast, and the guys in here, poof, 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 we sawing logs. We'd be like, bro, please come on, trying to get some work done in here. But yeah, so Ben and I got to do that yesterday. But I thought about that. I thought about that too when I was watching these politicians speak, and I thought to myself, well, Ben's a much better public speaker than these politicians. And look, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't know any of these guys' personal lives or their history, but I'll tell you right now, I could say unequivocally Ben has a cleaner past than all of them. I don't know anything they've ever done wrong, but I know for a fact Ben has a cleaner past than anyone. And the other thing I know about Ben, let's say he was elected mayor. I'm not worried about any scandals. I'm not worried about one single solitary. Well, I think there'd be some not fudging, but I think there would be some expensive taxpayer meals that we'd pay for, some golf excursions. Actually, you'd fit right in. You would fit right in. All the things that they love to do, you also love to do.
Delilah come back to haunt me?
Delilah might come back to haunt you if it's slightly a scandal, but you didn't buy it.
That's true.
Now, if the Delilah was a real person that you had stuffed in a leg of jeans in your suitcase in your closet,
It's probably not disqualifying anymore anyway.
then yeah, exactly. Like, what could you possibly do these days to keep you from being a politician? I don't know that there's much.
I'm looking at the YouTube stream. It seems like the tier ones would support me in my run for office if I did that.
I don't think there's any.
I'm not interested in
great
taking
bit.
a lot of positions. I just want to, I want to do the ribbon cuttings and the groundbreakings.
Oh, you don't want to like enact policy.
I'm not necessarily into the governance part of it. I think the ceremonial
It's all delegation.
aspect of it, though, would be right up my alley.
Well,
90% of leadership is delegation.
So I disagree fully. I disagree 100%. For me, the ceremonial stuff that I would have to go to would drain my battery. But the actual we can help, I love that part. The stuff, the extra stuff of hey, here I am at an elementary school doing, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want to actually help an elementary school instead of just showing up and be like, all right, where's my next meeting? Okay, and then I pop up to somewhere and cut a ribbon, that stuff. Oh, new grocery store. Hey, I'm waving and I snip it. I want to actually I would actually like the policy part. So maybe you and I two-headed monster.
I think I'd have trouble, though, when it came to the tough decisions.
Oh, it'd be so hard.
Ivan says, would I stop the stink in Imperial Beach? Well, it's easy to say, well, yes, of course.
Of course I will.
But then but how much is that going to cost? And, what are we going to have to cut in order to get it done? And then these people are unhappy with me. Someone's always unhappy with you because you're choosing between two sides every single time.
It's the most thankless job. I don't know why anybody would want it. I really don't. Because, again, all they do is they tell you, when I'm elected mayor of Encinitas, I promise to do this, 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 and this. None of it happens. Absolutely none of it. Zero. On day one, I will come in and I will blah, blah, blah.
I always like when they come knocking at your door and they say, when I'm elected mayor, we are going to build a nuclear arsenal. They promise things that they have no chance on delivering on.
I don't know anything about
chance.
civics. Are mayoral races every 2 years or 4?
I think it's 4.
Is it 4?
I think it's been a while.
I have no idea.
I think Todd Gloria has been mayor of San Diego for the last 4 years.
I don't know what a caucus is.
Might be too late to get
What's a
both of you
caucus?
guys on.
I hear it all the time. What is a caucus? Let's just get this out.
A caucus, a presidential, a caucus, is a group of party members who get together essentially in a place to discuss the candidates and then cast their primary votes, as opposed to an open primary where you just mail in your ballot or go everyone votes.
And
it's more of a gathering on the election, the primary election.
And if I'm the mayor of Encinitas, you're one of my constituents, yes?
Yes, because I live in Encinitas, so I would be one of your constituents.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I like to clarify from time to time because
Has there ever been a vice mayor? Maybe you guys could run
There's
together.
deputy mayor.
Deputy
mayor is
I'd
a
be
thing.
good for that.
Okay.
I'd be good for that.
I mean, we already have the merch. You can go to Ben and Woods merch store right now.
Yeah,
hit the link in your bio.
The choice, yeah, it's great.
And we have San Diego's choice, Ben Woods 24.
Ben and W.
W.
Ben and
Ben and W for mayor.
Now, it might be too
and
late. We might
vice
have
mayor.
to turn that 4 into an 8.
I like the term vice mayor. Vice, is that what it is? Vice mayor? Deputy
mayor.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Wyatt Earp was a deputy. I like that a lot. Woods, the deputy mayor. Just the mean guy behind the scenes that's in your ear. But yeah, I feel like we would be good. I feel like we couldn't be bought off. Maybe a little, but not a ton. Not going to hurt anybody.
Just a reasonable amount.
There's a tiny little bit.
Right.
There's things you have to do. Everybody's bought off a little bit, right?
You need donors. You need supporters.
Nobody's completely independent of a boss or you know what I mean. Everybody has somebody they report to. Even if you own a business, You still report to the IRS, the Better Business Bureau, whatever it is. The shareholders,
whatever,
of
yeah.
course. Of course. Patrick says, well, you don't want that stress. I know. You're absolutely right. You're
Man, Ben,
absolutely right.
You fit all the qualifications. You just need 240 signatures of qualified voters in your city.
He could get it by 7:30
Yeah, I
this
agree.
morning. I don't even think you have to do a lot of door knocking.
we got
People know who you are.
We got several hundred in the chat right now. Just get everybody to vote.
Yeah, you'd be good, man. You'd be a really good mayor.
Maybe next political cycle we'll
Let's
think
do it.
about that.
Let's do it. All right, I'm in.
All right,
great
let's do this show today because I'm looking forward to talking about yesterday's game. Definitely one of the best I thought of the season.
Incredible. Incredible game. I should have gone, man. That's the game I should have gone to at 3:40. It would have timed out perfectly, and I blew it.
It was one to remember. It felt like a bit of a launch pad, hopefully, into something bigger and better in October. I guess that remains to be seen, but we'll get into it. We'll set the menu for our show today. Coming up next, first, a check of traffic with Kelly Danick, and then we're going until 11 o'clock today with a roundtable on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, seeing the questions out there on what is the Padres' magic number. Now, you can follow along and calculate it yourself, but if you want to wait every morning, I will certainly update it for you. With the win yesterday, 4-0 over the Houston Astros, and no one else losing, Padres' magic number simply reduced by 1, from 6 to 5 to clinch a playoff spot, at least the last wild card spot. So any combination of 5 Padres wins plus Atlanta Braves losses would get the Padres guaranteed into the playoffs. Now, you probably are shooting for higher than that at this point, and I can add that the magic number to clinch a home playoff series is 8 now over the Arizona Diamondbacks and New York Mets. Any combination of 8 Padres wins plus D-backs / Mets losses, because they're tied.
Are they tied now? Okay.
Would get the Padres a home playoff series. I think it would be Mets because they have the tiebreaker over the Padres. So if you're looking at that right now, it would be 8 to clinch the 4th seed and the best of 3 wild card series at home.
Okay.
So there you are. There's your update on the magic numbers, which theoretically, if the Padres won on Friday and Saturday and the Braves lost today, tomorrow, and Saturday, Padres could clinch as early as Saturday a playoff spot. That
feels unlikely.
Little unlikely. It's more likely that it'll happen maybe Sunday, but probably sometime during the Dodgers series in Los Angeles, which brings up the possibility, and I saw it mentioned in the chat, that you could have a scenario where the Dodgers and Padres both clinch on the same day and are celebrating in the same stadium at the same time with champagne in both clubhouses.
So weird.
While they both, so one celebrates a division title, the other a wild card playoff berth early next week.
Doesn't feel right, does it, guys?
We talked about the champagne celebrations yesterday. I'm not going to get into all of it again, but you mentioned, Woods, like, it's kind of a power move to just be like, what? Job's not done.
Job's not done yet.
If that were to play out, where the Dodgers clinched a division and you clinched a playoff spot, I'd be tempted if I'm on the Padres to be like, hey, just go listen to them. You hear them over there?
I would too.
Listen to them celebrating.
I would too.
Job's not done,
I
boys.
swear to God, I would. As much as I believe in celebrations, if they got together collectively and said, hell no, man, we busted our ass. Like, nobody thought we could. Like, when you talk about an underdog, the San Diego Padres in 2024 were a massive underdog. You've got their bought-off morning show flagship here. 81 wins, 82 wins, 83 wins, max. That's an underdog. $95 million. Juan Soto's gone. Who did we get back for him? Bro, this is going to be a tough year, guys, for them to be where they are. So if they got together and said, yeah, man, we're going to celebrate the hell out of this thing. I don't care where we're doing it. I tip my hat to you. I have no problem with it. But if they said, no, we'll wait. Let's wait. Let's wait till we win a pennant, or let's wait till whatever.
I can even see it like in a movie. The Joe Musgrove character's like, put that beer down.
Yeah.
Job's not done,
you
boys.
Popping bottles? You popping bottles?
You hear them over there?
They're
popping bottles.
They're popping bottles. I guess their job's done. We're not done. I mean, bro, I again, my whole stance is I would never take a celebration away from anybody for anything if they've earned it. But it would be one of the most hard-ass moves. Now, if it backfires on you kind of feel like an idiot. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's cool.
The problem with the dual celebration scenario,
I hate it.
Well, it means that the Dodgers would have to win that game because they'd be clinching over the Padres, the National League West, whereas the Padres could then back in on the same day with a Braves loss. That would be the worst way. Like, the Dodgers beat you, they clinch, they're celebrating, and then you look them on the scoreboard. Oh, the Braves lost, so yay, we clinched 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be as anticlimactic as it gets.
That's how the Padres clinched in 2022. If they
they lost.
Chicago White Sox lost on a Sunday, and everybody was out on the field, kind of like just looking around.
It's so
like,
weird, man.
Here's your playoff T-shirt and hat.
So, yesterday, the Milwaukee Brewers clinched their playoff spot, but they clinched it early in the day when they weren't even at the ballpark yet when the Cubs lost. And then they went out and won a walk-off, which I think certainly increased their level of celebration at the end of the night. But they could have popped champagne bottles before the game instead of after, because they had already clinched by the time they took the field against the Phillies. They waited until after the game and after the win
smart.
to do that. I do too. But
that's not a game I want to see.
Would you say they backed in because they got in because the Cubs lost earlier in the day? They didn't. They won that day, but
they did win.
But they didn't actually clinch when they won. They had already clinched before they even started the game.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool, though. Like, to know, but, hey, we got a huge game tonight against the Phillies. Well, I mean, not so.
Everybody shows up for BP.
Not so huge
hug
anymore.
It out,
yeah.
All right.
And then get to business and end up winning that game.
That's why how you clinch doesn't really matter that much. You can't control it necessarily.
Really.
Yeah. Someone could lose, but while you're on an off day. The Padres, I mean, they can't this off day, but technically they could probably clinch on an off day as well when they don't even have a game if someone loses. So
yeah, I mean, it's again, and shout out to Pat Murphy and the Milwaukee Brewers. My Lord, what a
talk about underdogs.
Talk about underdogs. I mean, again, left for dead certainly, but and as Adam mentioned, they clinched the division. Man, that's really good work. Good work by Pat Murphy and those guys. Again, they were kind of left for dead too. So very, very cool.
Well, if anybody out there listening, because we get a lot of messages every day now, what's the magic number? What's the magic number? You can just Google it. There's a website, playoffstatus.com.
But we also want them to tune in here to hear it. Ben will do that.
I'll give you the update every morning.
But this one tells you the magic number for the 4 seed, magic number for the 5 seed.
Ben doesn't provide
and just
that.
to clinch, the magic number is 8.
I just did provide it. I provided you the magic number for the 4 seed like a couple of minutes ago.
No, a 5. Oh, yeah. 5 is the magic number just to clinch a playoff spot.
Yes, and 8 was the magic number over the Mets
Diamondbacks
and Diamondbacks to clinch
now.
the home playoff series in the 4 seed.
All right, relax.
All right. We will get to our Padres wrap up next and talk about Dylan Cease's dominating performance.
Or if you don't want to listen to it, you can just Google it.
That's true.
I mean, you probably watched the game.
What do we need to do?
You can't do, though. Paulie's collected all the different calls of the back-to-back home runs by the Padres in the 8th inning. So we will play those for you. It's a Throwback Thursday. We have a throwback segment for you that does involve the Padres and the playoffs. In our 7 o'clock hour, we'll play some real or fake, qualify someone for a trip to Las Vegas. Don't do this as well. And then in the second half of Ben and Woods today, Saris will join us for Smart Baseball. Ryan will report our football threesome on a Thursday, and then look ahead to I'm nervous about the White Sox series. I know you are too. There's just nothing good that can happen.
Mike Pomerantz isn't nervous about it. Oh, my Lord.
I saw that. Nothing good can happen. Only bad things can happen when the White Sox are in town. So we'll get to all that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We talked about the over-under for yesterday's Padres game. It was 6, right? 6.5. 6.5. And you said you don't like to cheer for unders.
I do not, but you were right.
But we knew it was going to be a great pitching matchup, and it was between Dylan Cease and Framber Valdez, 0-0 all the way to the 6th inning. This was the kind of game you tend to see in October, and there was a lot of talk about that after the game yesterday in both clubhouses. We're going to get into that, all the highlights, talk about the performances by Dylan Cease and the Padres offense and our Padres wrap-up, and we'll do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Kearney Mesa Volkswagen. Find your ultimate VW at VWofKearneyMesa.com. Well, it continues to be a pretty uneventful ride at this time, guys. Just starting to see the usual slowing in the usual spots. Yeah, we're looking at you, northbound 5, heading out of Chula Vista into National City. So far, not too bad of a ride heading out of Santee on that westbound 52. San Diego, don't let these deals slide by. Kearney Mesa Volkswagen, now part of Sedano Auto Group, has your ticket to ride. 2024 Tiguan S, $259 monthly. 2024 Jetta S Sedan, $179 monthly. Step up to the plate and find your ultimate VW at VWofKearneyMesa.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
Bregman, the third baseman, is expecting bunt, and he is probably not far off. Lockridge, a right-handed batter. He's got long brown sleeves on. High socks pulled up, and he does bunt towards third. It's a beauty. Bregman, bare hand, gets rid of it. Throw to first, bobbled and dropped by Singleton. And Lockridge is aboard with what may be his first career hit. Should be. Singleton had it and lost it. Manny's trying to get the ball. And they will get it back from Framber Valdez. The official scorer checks in. First major league hit for Brandon Lockridge, kind of fittingly, a bunt single. 1-2, swung on and missed strike 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Dylan Cease, and he caps it with a K. 15 up and 15 down. Now the 2-0. Ayward, hard hit through the right side and a base hit. First knock of the day for the Astros. First base runner of the day for the Astros, a leadoff single here in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch of this at-bat, swung on, laced into left center field. Line drive, gonna go! So much for that. Padres take a 1-0 lead here in the 6th inning on Manny's 28th home run of the season. He has gone out in back-to-back games, and the Padres strike first. Tatis swings at the first pitch. He hits one on a rope. Out to left center. It's going to go! Almost the exact same spot as Manny's. Machado a homer on the first pitch in the 6th. And now Tatis a homer the first pitch of the 8th. And it's 2-0. 3-2 to Machado. Manny swings, hits it in the air to left field and deep. Alvarez is back. He's looking up. It's going to go! Anything you can do, I can do better. Machado with his second of the day. He and Fernando go back to back. Now Solano steps into one, sends it to deep left. Alvarez is back, he leaps up. It's gonna go! Back to back to back. The Padres have teed off on Caleb Ort here in the 8th inning, and it's 4-0. Altuve will run from first. They let him go. Bregman swings, sends it in the air, straight away, right field. Lockridge is there. He's got it, and the ball game is over. An emphatic win for Dylan Cease and the Padres here this afternoon as they take 2 out of 3 and shut out the Astros 4-0.
Dominant. He was outstanding. Controlled counts. Just a ton of life to everything. Ball was jumping. Top part of the zone, life everywhere with his heater. Slider was filthy. Threw some curveballs that
Keep
also
guys
kept
honest.
him honest.
I remember that.
I'm glad to see him show that. But he was in control the whole way.
Yeah, I was watching it live. Yeah, threw some curveballs, keeps guys honest. Woo! Woo! I mean, that's my exact reaction too. Just, whew, man.
There was the question was asked that of Mike Schilt. Is it possible Dylan Cease was actually better yesterday than he was during his no-hitter?
AJ Cassavell asked that
and
question.
He said, he actually might have been.
Might have been.
A no-hitter requires just a little bit of luck as well,
Oh, and
in addition to a dominating performance. But in terms of like opponent, no question that he was facing a much tougher lineup in the Houston Astros than he was the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
And limiting them to the one legit single, and then you had kind of the misplay in the ninth inning by Xander Bogaerts that ended up being the second hit. No walks though is huge for Dylan Cease.
They give him a hit.
The game, not the double play, but the first one, the chopper up the middle. That was a tougher play. Yeah,
Dubon was probably going to be.
He might have. That's
why he tried to rush the throw. Let's talk about
single.
Let's talk about it for a moment.
You want to start there and not at the beginning? That's fine.
Whatever you want. I was just going to say, since we're talking about Xander, I did see a lot of people yesterday. It sucks. That's no one feels worse about that than Xander Bogaerts costing a guy a CG shutout. And I will say this.
Not that play, though. The second play that would have been easy double play.
The Billy Buckner from Beantown, man, that was hit right at him, and he just booted it. He just never touched it, just right through his legs. And, of course, I called my 6-year-old in immediately and said, see, it happens to them. It happens to them. What didn't he do? He didn't get down, didn't stay down. Butt wasn't down. Just got kind of a lazy play. It wasn't a funky hop or anything. He gets that ball 99 out of 100 times. But I saw people, I think rightfully so, roasting Xander for that. But they said, how pissed is Dylan Cease? I said, he's not pissed at all. Because what happens if Dylan Cease gives up 3 in the first? Xander's not at short going, figure it out, man. Right. We got a game to win, dude. It doesn't work that way. They're a team. Of course, Dylan wants that CG shutout so badly. They're so rare. I promise you, Xander went up to him and said, bro, kill me, man. I am so sorry for that. But
they didn't lose the game.
They didn't lose the game. He didn't take an L because of it. It sucks. There's no question.
I do think they also appreciate what Xander has done
100%,
in switching positions
100%.
Twice this year to try and help the team and get some of those veterans into the lineup. And if that does come with not feeling entirely comfortable at every moment, up the middle as you're going back and forth between second and short, they get that. And it's better yesterday than in October.
Yeah.
And, the longer he's there, if he's going to play there in the postseason, probably won't happen again because it happened yesterday. So, yeah, I don't think anyone was mad at Xander Bogaerts about that. Now, remember, very first play of the game, Manny Machado makes a diving stop against Jose Altuve to kind of set the tone. I mean, if that gets through, Altuve's kind of owned Cease in his career, and, you've already got trouble in the first inning, but Manny makes that play. Cease immediately settles in, retires the first 15 in a row. Your defense also helps you out, and that's part of it, and Cease understands that as well, that you don't pitch that well unless you have good defense behind you, and the defense was good for the most part yesterday, except there in the ninth inning.
Yeah, tough. It's tough. It's a tough look. It's a very tough situation, and I think that it was the right move for Schilt to go out and get him then.
Because with the lefty coming up and Alvarez.
Tanner Scott, you got a day off today, no problem. I mean, I thought it was, again, brilliantly managed. He should have made that play. There's no doubt about it. Xander's got to make that play, certainly. And I'm sure he had some words with Dylan Cease after, and I'm sure Dylan, knowing Dylan Cease just a little bit, was probably like, dude, don't worry about it. We got the win. We're one game closer to being in the playoffs. Who cares? Flush it and let's move on. That's a real testament. That's what a true team is. That's just how it works. If I screw up, Ben and Paul don't rake me over the coals for a screw up. You know what I mean? I don't rake you guys over the coals.
When I make a flub, you guys just ignore it and we move right on and never bring it up again.
Anytime you make an error, we just put our head down and we just roll right through it.
Exactly.
That's what a good team does. We have been more lenient on the flubs, I will say.
A little bit. Now, early in the game, obviously the Padres had some chances to score against Framber Valdez and did not convert. And that continued what had kind of gone on on Tuesday when they were struggling with runners in scoring position, went 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and that one was the Bogart single that didn't score.
Yeah.
Jackson Merrill from second base, and they ended up hitting into the double play. Jake hit into the double play to end the second inning. And then in the third inning, you get the bottom of the order setting the table with the walk to Diaz and the bunt single by Brandon Lockridge for his first major league hit. Congratulations to Brandon Lockridge.
I love what Tony Gwynn Jr. said. He goes, nobody needs to know it was on a bunt. All you have to do is say, I got a hit off of Framber Valdez
a bunt
to start
that
my
if the
career.
first baseman makes the pick, you're out on, by the way, as well. But you did. You got the first hit off Framber Valdez.
Nobody needs to know it was on a bunt. It was so good. I started dying laughing.
20 years
watching
from
it.
now, what'd you do?
I got a
remember.
I got a knock off Framber Valdez. What was it? Where did it go? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's a clean single is what it was. Just clean single.
I'll say
That's all you need to worry about.
So then Jurickson Profar, who was batting leadoff with Luis Arraez getting the day off, as we speculated yesterday, decides to bunt those guys over to second and third with one out. And I knew what you were thinking at the time, and I expressed it as well on Twitter. Still don't like that decision by Jurickson Profar to bunt the runners over, even though, yes, he gets to runner to third with less than 2 outs, and you can score one on a fly ball.
One.
You can, I mean, you're just, and again, I know what the old school baseball mentality is. Get that first run, get it in, get an opportunity to score with an out. But you've got Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up. And what Fernando can do is hit the ball extremely hard.
Yeah.
And you're not looking, even when he's got runners at second and third early in the game, I don't want Fernando looking to just softly put a ball into play or try to flick a fly ball somewhere to score a run. I want him to do damage and swing hard. That's what he does best. But it also means he's going to strike out from time to time. So you set up kind of the wrong person with the runners at second and third, and you've taken the bat out of your own hands, Jurickson.
I just giving an elite pitcher like that an out is such a confidence boost to him. Handing him one and saying, here's one. You get the first 2 guys on in an inning, Ben, as a starting pitcher, and I don't care who you are. If you're Framber Valdez, if you're Max Scherzer in his prime, you're like, oh, God. The first 2 guys are on.
They say, hey, you know what? We'll get you out of this jam. 1 run is all it's going to cost you. Even Framber Valdez probably goes, all right, I'll sign up for that right now.
Yeah,
we're still in this game down 1-0. He agrees to that. So don't help him into something that he would sign up for gladly at that moment.
Yeah. What do they say?
You got the top of the Padres lineup coming up, 2 on, nobody out. What you say I can have out of this. I'm back in the dugout with 1 run.
I get an out.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and you're going to give me a third of my outs every single time. And again, I don't think this was from Schilt. I think this is just Profar and how he plays. I asked Schilt about it. He basically said, look, I'm going to give the guys the freedom to do what they want to do. For me personally, and I think for most, I want to see Jurickson Profar swing away. The guy's, 283 average, Benny, 23 bombs. He's got a 463 slug. His OPS is 848. I want you hitting. There's a reason that, that you're having such a great season. It's not because of all your sacrifices. It's because you're a good hitter. And this year in particular, you're locked in. And I know he's struggled a little bit since the break.
Just had a 4-hit game a couple days ago.
4-hit game a couple days ago. And again, I think when you get to the playoffs and you're a team like the San Diego Padres, sure, 1 run may have been enough yesterday, right? Because if
it's the 8th inning and you can get the run in and get the lead and get your closer, all right, I will discuss it at least. But that early in the game, you have no idea how that's going to play out. That may be your best opportunity to score multiple runs off a tough pitcher all day long.
Yeah, get him out. Get him out of there. Get him out of there right then. You get a knock, you're going to score 1. If you get a knock there, then Manny's up. They may even walk him to go lefty against Merrill. Merrill's pretty damn good. So, I mean, again, it's how you get a big inning, and you need big innings. And playing for 1 run in the 3rd inning does not make sense to me personally. It just doesn't. And so I'm vehemently against that move. And guess what? It didn't work. You got nothing, and you handed him a freebie. So I know that it works sometimes. I also know that it doesn't work. I will take my chances with Jurickson Profar swinging the bat. I wish Jurickson believed in him as much as I believe in him. That's what I wish.
We believe in you, Jurickson.
That's what I believe. I believe that he is a really good hitter, that could absolutely do some damage there. Hey, if he hits into a double play, so be it, man. It's
Not mad at you.
part of the game.
Not mad at you.
Not
Just
mad
like
at
I'm
you at
not
all.
mad at Jake for hitting into the double play.
Right. It's hard, man.
You know,
It's-
you try to drive the ball up the middle. He hit it up the middle. He just got his bat sawed off and turned into 2. Now, fortunately, didn't turn out to matter as Manny takes the first pitch of the 6th inning, and I think Framber is probably going, I thought maybe he'd take one. I wanted to get ahead with the strike, and Manny was ready to attack on that one. That gave him a lead, changes the pressure on the Astros offense a little bit. They get Valdez out of the game, and then the back-to-back-to-back, which we will hear all the calls of coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. You heard Jesse's, which were amazing. We'll have Don. We'll have Spanish. Have we found Korean or not today?
We found it.
We
we
found
got
it. Okay, we've got them all. So we've got that coming up as well. Do not go away. It's Ben and Woods, real or fake, as well in our next segment on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Paulie just laid a little nugget on us during the break involving the Padres and the long ball. So in that series, what was it, against the Astros, Padres hit 7 home runs the last 3 days.
Yeah.
The Astros had 5 runs total in the whole series.
Wow. Yeah, they showed that on the broadcast, I don't know, 8th inning or something, and that score held. So, yeah, 7 home runs in the series, 5 allowed runs total for Houston.
Padres also setting a new franchise record for home runs at home at Petco Park this season, and blowing past it with 4 more yesterday and then 3 more games to add to that record. Now, remember early in the season when Petco Park was surrendering so many home runs, but it was the other teams that were getting so many of them? That's changed completely. Now it's the Padres who seem to be getting the lion's shares of home runs, and the pitchers who had struggled earlier in the year with the home run ball, like Michael King, have found out a way to keep the ball in the yard much better in the second half of the season.
You asked him about that when we sat down with him the other day in the dugout, and he talked about it and talked about getting ahead in counts and, take 2-0. They know what I have to throw, and I know what I have to throw, and you close your eyes and pray they don't hit it out of the yard, and at the beginning part of the season they did.
So the total goes up quickly when you hit 3 in the span of 3 at-bats, something the Padres had not done since 1997, when Ricky Henderson, Kilvio Veras, and Chris Gomez hit back-to-back home runs.
That was the order?
That was the order. I remember listening in my car that day. I was in college, senior year of college, on opening day, April 1st. I was also at the game. I think it was the home opener in the 80s. I want to say 1986 or 7, when Tony Gwynn, Marvell Wynn, and John Kruk went back-to-back to start the game.
Hell yeah.
And that was really cool as well.
That's cool.
Back-to-back was just, it was insane.
It was.
I was on the toilet. On the true story.
Were you?
Yep.
Well, you'll never forget where you were.
Watching on my phone.
So we have collected all the calls.
Couldn't get up after the first one. Just
Paulie's got our audio montage here. Let's start with Jesse again. Such a great radio call here on 97.3 The Fan of Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, and Donovan Solano.
Here's Fernando.
Oh, that was Don. I know that was Don.
Swings at the first pitch. He hits one on a rope. Out to left center. It's going to go. Almost the exact same spot as Manny's. Machado a homer on the first pitch in the 6th. And now Tatis a homer the first pitch of the 8th. And it's 2-0. 3-2 to Machado. Manny swings, hits it in the air to left field and deep. Alvarez is back. He's looking up. It's going to go. Anything you can do, I can do better. Machado with his 2nd of the day. He and Fernando go back to back. Now Solano steps into one, sends it to deep left. Alvarez is back. He leaps up. It's going to go. Back to back to back. The Padres have teed off on Caleb Ort here in the 8th inning, and it's 4-0.
That was a rough day for Caleb Ort. Only 3 batters that he faced. Coming in after Valdez, yeah,
that's hey, bud, rough. Just get out there and keep them here.
Yeah, try to keep it a 1-run deficit. Give us a chance to win it here in the 9th. No. All right, let's go to the television call. Padres.tv. Don Orsillo and Tony Gwynn Jr.
Here's Fernando. To left field, struck pretty well. That is back, and that is gone. Fernando Tatis Jr. connects on his 19th of the year. 2nd solo shot of the day for San Diego. Padres take a 2-0 lead. Fly ball, deep left field. Back goes Alvarez. That's gone. 2nd time today, Manny Machado has left the building. That's 29 on the year for Machado. That's 3-0 San Diego. They go back to back. First Nando. Now Manny. 1 for 11 in the series. And he drives on a deep left field. Back goes Alvarez. Padres go back to back to back. Nando. Manny. And now Donnie Barrels. Donovan Solano. Back to back in San Diego.
Sounded like he was about to do the all down by way of the game.
Yeah. He was so excited for Manny's home run But he left a little in reserve, as a good broadcaster always does, in case something even better happens, and he took it up one more notch for Donovan Solano. Great job.
It was incredible.
By the way, the Manny home run, when we were watching on TV on your toilet,
yes,
you didn't think it was gone, did you?
No.
I didn't either.
Nope.
Tatis didn't think his was necessarily gone. He hit it, thought for a second
then
it was gone, and he started sprinting.
Yeah.
Like, this may not be high enough, and he started sprinting. It went out. Manny knew his was gone, even though it looked like it was one of those little kind of butt-out slider swings.
Ass out, front foot,
that's
slide.
gone.
I'm like, how?
How does he get that out? I
That's
have
good
no
living,
idea.
man. I mean, that's good living right now for him.
All right, that's some happiness. Let's move to some unhappiness. Paulie has found the Astros television calls of the back-to-back.
Lano due up. And Tatis Jr. drills one to left field. This ball will be gone to left, just into the first row. That ball hit pretty well to left, sending Jordan back again. Manny has his second of the game. Back-to-back home runs against Caleb Ward out of the pen here in the 8th inning.
Speed, breaking balls, these guys all can get after it.
It's going to be possibly 3 in a row. Jordan back to the wall, jumps, and that's gone. Caleb Ward stands on the mound with his hand and his glove on top of his head. Can't believe what he is witnessing today.
That little blummer there on the color commentary.
Tyler asks how often will I be viewing from the bathroom now? A lot, actually. If we need a rally, I can pop in there. Remember last year it was Woodsy. Hey, it's Woodsy live from the crapper, but it was after a loss.
Yeah.
Which is several crapper videos last year. This was a different story.
The Rally Roach and the Rally Throne.
Crapper Chronicles from Woodsy. It's smoother in 24.
Now we move from English to our foreign language calls. By the way, if you want to call in for real or fake, you can do so right now. 833-288-0973. Let's start with Spanish. I believe it was Eduardo Ortega on the mic in the 8th inning, because I ran into Pedro Gutierrez, who does the other play-by-play for Spanish, and he goes, you guys always play Eddie's calls. You never get to my calls. And I go, well, they're usually walk-offs, and Eddie's usually on the mic in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't offended, but he goes, I listen, and, it's always fun to hear our calls on the radio. So, they're listening, too. Here's Eduardo Ortega, Padres Spanish language broadcaster.
I'm going to give everybody 3 seconds. Maybe turn your
dials,
turn your volume down just a little bit.
Más carrera, los dos pitchers de calidad. Llega el relevo y al primer picheo. ¡Tatis! ¡De línea! Astros gana San Diego por 2 carreras. Y ahora línea de Machado. Levanta la bola por el left. Otra vez. Va de multi-home run. Sí. A la calle.
Orte está sorprendido. Ahí.
Otra bomba por el izquierdo. Los Padres van por 3. ¡Y los tienen! ¡Viva Colombia! ¡Back to back to back!
Come on.
Tatis, Machado, Solano, segundo, tercero y cuarto. Se abre el juego en la octava. 4-0 gana San Diego.
Give
very
me
nice.
chills, man. It's so
And I think
good.
that was actually Carlos Hernandez who does the analysis at home, who did the
I love Carlos. One of the greatest guys you will ever meet.
¡Viva Colombia! ¡Back to back to back! Tatis, Machado, Solano.
Brilliant.
So nice. Now, I have no idea how crazy. I haven't heard these ones yet. From our Korean language friends, to wrap up all of our calls of our back-to-back-to-back home runs.
8회 샌디에고 공격 선두타자 타티스의 타구가 왼쪽으로 빠르게 뻗어갑니다. 탑장! 샌디에고의 슈퍼스타는 마차도만 있는 것이 아닙니다. 바로 페르난도 타티스 주니어도 함께 있습니다. 시즌 19호.
본인의 바브레리 데이 때 하나 해주네요.
그렇습니다. 낮은 공을 높게 띄워보냈습니다. 다시 한번 멀리 갑니다. 왼쪽으로 뒤로! 멀티 홈런! 매니 마차도 시즌 29호 스코어 3대0.
샌디고 완전히 분위기를 가져오네요. 마차도의 멀티 홈런 여기 나오면서 마차도도 이제 이 시즌 30호 홈런에 하나만 남겨둡니다.
그렇습니다.
오호!
솔로브로 때렸어요. 왼쪽 멀리 갑니다. 좌익 뒤로 가요. 계속 가요. 탑장 대차! 넘어갔어요! 백투백투백! 샌디에이고의 중심 타선이 오늘 화려하게 터지고 있습니다. 스코어 4대0.
So apparently,
So
back
good.
to back to back is the same in every language
universal.
at all.
Yeah.
English,
back to back.
Spanish, and Korean.
Yeah, brilliant.
Back to back to back works. It's the universal language.
I love that.
Absolutely brilliant.
That was outstanding. Everybody, well done.
Oh, he was fired up.
All right. I'm fired up for a little game of real or fake. Let's get to it.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
First, let's see what the people are. It'll be Arnold. Arnold, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. You are a contestant today on Real or Fake. What are you up to this morning?
I'm driving to work.
All right. That sounds good. Probably what a lot of people are doing on a Thursday morning. So you've got a chance here to qualify for a trip for 2 to Las Vegas, 2-night stay at the Wynn or Encore, and 2 tickets to see Awakening, the thrilling spectacle at Wynn Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale now at awakening.com, and you don't even need to beat Woods at musical trivia. All you need to do is separate the real from the fake. Get 4 out of 7 right, and you will qualify. And it's interesting because we were just doing all those home run calls, and home runs are our theme today on Real or Fake. Remember last Sunday, Elliot Ramos became the first right-handed hitter to get a splashdown home run in McCovey Cove, which got me thinking, how many Padres have reached the water on the fly beyond right field at Oracle Park? Today on Real or Fake, I have a list of the Padres players who have pulled off the feat. Splashdown home runs in San Francisco. You just have to separate the real from the fake. Arnold, are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
All right, and you can ask Woods for help. Don't know if he is or will not help you, but you can always ask. All right, round 1. Splashdown home runs by the Padres. Real or fake? Brian Giles. Real or fake?
Brian Giles. Woods, can you
Real.
help me?
Real.
Okay, let's go for real.
Real, he says. Yeah, Jilly did it. 1 for 1. Very good. You are off to a good start here. All right, let's go to round 2. Arnold, splashdown home run. Jake Cronenworth. Real or fake?
Oh, gee. I'm going to go say fake.
Says fake. The answer is real. Most recent Padre to reach the water at Oracle Park. All right, we are 1-1 as we go to round number 3. Let's try Yasmani Grandal. Real or fake?
Woods, I need some help.
Switch hitting catcher, meaning he would hit from the left side. Real.
Says real. Arnold, what do you say?
I'll go for real.
Yeah. Good pull hitter on the left side and got one into the water. All right, that's 2 right. You're doing very well. All right, let's go to round number 4. Ryan Klesko. Real or fake?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, come on.
He's a lefty.
Oh, yeah.
Woods, I'm going to have to have you.
Prodigious power. Yes, sir. Real.
Arnold,
you need your answer for just official
I'll
purposes.
say fake.
He says fake.
Oh, Arnold.
Woods was right on that one. He was the first. He was the first to do it soon after Oracle. Then
That's why we need the listeners.
Pac Bell Park opened in the early 2000s. That's okay. You're still
All
at
right.
2-2.
You're fine.
You just need 2 out of the last 3, and you will win. All right, let's go with Chase Headley. Arnold, real or fake? Chase Headley.
Chase Headley. Oh, I'll say fake. One of them has to be fake.
Well, he did it. He had some left-handed power, had some good seasons. Now the pressure is on. All right, you need to get these last 2 correct. Real or fake? Adrian Gonzalez. Real or fake, Arnold? And you need to get this one right.
Oh, gosh. Woods, what do you say?
I mean, why do you ask? You're just going to go against me anyway. I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Let's see. It's such an obvious real. Like, it sounds like it would be so real that I know Ben and his goofy ass. I'm going to say fake.
Arnold, what do you say?
All right, I'll go with Woods. Fake.
Smart man. That's fake.
No way!
Adrian never did it, which means we go to round number 7.
Yeah,
you were right.
Okay. Paul, hit the wrong buzzer.
Oh, hit the wrong
All right,
buzzer.
I got it.
Sorry, wrong buzzer.
It was fake.
It was fake. He got it right. That's correct. We are 3-3 as we go to round number 7.
I'm so sorry.
4 all the marbles.
Scared me to death.
Real or fake splashdown Padres home runs? Will Venable.
Oh, God.
Will Venable.
I will believe you again. You're right.
Oh, no.
It's a lot of pressure here.
Now, that one's okay. To play that game, that one sounds like it would be fake. Not a big home run guy. But I know Ben. Let's say he did it. Let's say real.
He says real. Arnold, are you going to go with Woods?
I have to. He's the man.
Arnold, you have won the game.
You're welcome, buddy.
You have qualified. By the way, that was all 6 Padres who have ever gone splashdown. Brian Giles, Jake Cronenworth, Yasmani Grandal, Ryan Klesko, Chase Headley, and Will Venable. The only 6 to do it in Padres history. And that's a win for Arnold. Stay on the line, Arnold. Paul will get your information during our break.
I'm telling you, man, walking that concourse last Friday, it's a poke. It is a poke out there. That ballpark, wind swirling around. It's cold. Like, it's such. I mean, that'd be like a career highlight for me if I was a left-handed there. I'd be like, yeah, I got it out of there. It's nuts. It's
Let me
such
get
a shot.
McCovey Cove Dave on the phone. I want that ball.
Yeah, not giving it back. You haven't earned it. You haven't earned it.
All right, we got Don't Do This coming up next. I'm sure you saw the video obtained by the L.A. Times.
Ooh, dude.
Of the Julio Urias domestic violence situation.
I can't believe it took this long to come out.
It has come out.
It's pretty upsetting.
And it's going to put his future certainly into question, if there ever was one. This isn't going to help him. So we'll talk about that and more right after this check of traffic. Be right back with more Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Little stop down, but let me ask you in the chat. Woods really doesn't like it when his banana has a little brown spot on it.
Oh, dude.
Some people don't care. I mean,
some people eat.
It's not
rotten. Well, in my opinion,
it's not.
I know.
Rotten.
I know.
A little bit of
a
a bruise, a little bit of brownness is not going to hurt you. It's fine. We all love perfect fruits and vegetables.
It's a texture thing.
He's eating his banana right now.
I'm trying to swallow it.
Complaining about his banana with his tiny little bruise on it.
A lot of banana noises happening right now.
You cut off the little bruises, like if it's at the. Do you like slice it off just so it's not there anymore, or do you just?
No, I just wolf it down.
Swallow it. Just get it down. All right, I will start. Don't do this today with the story, and it looks like the LA Times has been pursuing this for quite some time. They finally obtained a 72-second recording from the California Highway Patrol of a witness who filmed former Dodgers pitcher Julio Urias and the incident that occurred outside the LAFC BMO Stadium on September 3rd of last year. And you see him, I think, emerging from the game, walking along a fence line with his wife, and he's obviously agitated. They are kind of in an argument. You know, she moves ahead. He chases up to her, kind of pushes her against the fence. And then you see him just reach back and try to throw a haymaker punch. Now, you can't really from the angle see whether he connects it all on the punch, but he certainly threw the punch, like a serious haymaker of a punch. And that is what has led him to be suspended for the second time under the league's domestic violence policy. Has not been reinstated yet. They have not even announced his full punishment yet. It'll probably include the time missed this season. But now that this video is out, the LA Times columnist Dylan Hernandez asking the question, can he ever come back to Major League Baseball after this?
I mean, Marcell Ozuna is back and starring for the Atlanta Braves. And, I mean, we all saw that video, and I understand it. You know, in that case, I think there was in that case, it takes two to tango situation, but I don't think so, man, when it comes to domestic stuff like that.
Can he? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Should he? No.
Correct.
I mean, he will be allowed to. He will serve whatever the suspension is, and he will be eligible to be signed again.
Allowed.
Yeah, Trevor Bauer's allowed to play baseball, but nobody has signed him.
But so a team has to then go and sign him and make that decision, that determination that they want this guy on their team. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah, somebody has to say, well, listen, I know it's been a couple of times, and we're third time's the charm. I don't think so. Now, the Dodgers would take him today. They would take him today. I mean, they have nothing in their starting rotation. So again, I'm sure Dodger fans lamenting this even more because it's just brutal.
Dylan Hernandez writes, the footage is uncomfortable to watch. Urias is required to complete a domestic violence treatment program as part of his plea agreement, but the images and sounds of his controllable rage will be hard to shake. Professional sports are businesses, making the court of public opinion almost as important as the court of law. The video might not prevent Urias from finding another job in MLB, but it certainly won't help.
Who's the guy the Astros signed? Osuna? Remember that? The closer? That was just another gnarly video. They're like, we're fine with it. They won a World Series with them. I mean, it's dirty, dude. There's no question about it. But, there's all these guys that have kind of, some of them get through. The NFL, pretty notorious for it as well. I mean, it's
the Ray Rice video. We all remember that one.
Well, he didn't play again, I don't think, after that. Did he?
I think he might have.
Did he? That was gnarly. Maybe he did. It's bad. I saw that yesterday. It made my stomach turn.
Was he only suspended like 3 games? I think he was only suspended like 3 games.
Roberto Osuna. That's right.
Yeah, that's Roberto.
Oh, my Lord. All right, now this is a little bit more lighthearted. But,
a lot more lighthearted.
It's a lot more lighthearted. But you know me, man. This time of year, I've been so calm all year. I really have. For me, I've been calm. My anxiety is spiking a little bit as the games get, a little bit more important. And I don't want any big sudden movements, right? I don't want any big sudden movements. Let's not kick the hornet's nest, right, Ben? Like, you see a hornet's nest, you're like, oh, it's cool, a hornet's nest. Last thing you want to do is walk up and kick it. I think Mike Pomeranz kicked it yesterday in the post game. You saw this too, didn't you?
I was watching, yeah, absolutely. I was kind of surprised.
I was visibly shaken when I saw it. So they put up a graphic on the screen. They're talking about Padres' next opponent, Chicago White Sox. Pom goes ham. He was like, This is a quote. He goes, you look up the word dumpster fire. You look up the word dumpster fire in the dictionary. Here's the Chicago White Sox, and I'm sitting there. I got my hands over my head. I got my head between my legs, and he's like, "I'm surprised we were even able to find a decent, halfway positive graphic about these guys." And I'm like, "Look, I get it. They're bad. They know they're bad. Everybody knows they're bad, but that doesn't mean they're not trying to win a ball game. That doesn't mean that they're not fully capable of winning a ball game." Garrett Crochet's on the mound, Benny, on Friday night. Garrett Crochet's no joke. He's no joke. And
they just won 3 in a row.
They did.
They did lose their last 2 to the Angels. So they're at 117 losses. 120 is the record for most ever in a baseball season.
If I'm Palm, I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to hide out this weekend. Because you just don't want to make any big sudden movements. Don't scare the bunny this close to the playoffs. Right? You agree.
I did. I was a little bit surprised knowing that Mike has played baseball, and baseball players usually don't try to tempt fate like that. That surprised me a little.
Scare the bunny is probably a better way to describe it than kick a hornet's nest, because I don't know that the White Sox are a hornet's nest.
Now Paulie is getting in on the action. You look up hornet's nest in the dictionary.
So this is actually, I'm planning on one of our last topics today in our roundtable. How are you approaching this series against the White Sox?
Xanax.
Us personally as fans, or the players, the team?
I think more as fans. Like, as fans, what do you say? I mean,
I'm glad it's on the weekend, dude.
If they don't win all 3 games, is it a disaster?
Yes.
What happens if they lose the series? It certainly could happen. Remember, the Padres got swept by the Angels. Lost the season series to the Rockies. I mean, they have not played well against poor teams this year. Now, they've done much better in the second half of the year. Much better.
I'm just telling. I love Palm. I love him. He's got that good voice and deep pipes. Guy's a bit of a legend. But he scared me to death yesterday. You know, it's the post game, so I'm usually half paying attention anyway. And when I heard it, I was like, hey, easy, dude, easy. You trying to kill us here? And it made me very nervous.
Finally, a little do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
Might have seen the video yesterday. Really cool moment at the Padres game last night when the Padres and Fernando Tatis Jr. hosted 10-year-old Jackson through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Jackson, who's battling leukemia, flew in from Coral Springs, Florida, just to meet Tatis prior to the game. As part of his visit, Jackson got a personalized Padres jersey, got to watch batting practice from the field, even got to throw Tatis the ball, caught it. It's very sweet, very emotional, and they tug on our heartstrings with the Make-A-Wish kids for sure. But to see how excited he was to meet Fernando, and Fernando is so good at that. He's really good with kids.
You know what, man? Him with the kids, Manny with the kids. Those dudes, I've seen them when no one's looking. Elite human beings as it pertains to making little kids' dreams come true. And I've seen it 1,000 times. Fernando's done it with my own son. So has Mandy. And those dudes will never forget it. Dylan Cease was so kind to my son the other day. And that stuff just goes. Bo will never forget it. You know, and this kid obviously will never forget it either. It makes my eyes well up with tears when I see these kids come out. They just want to meet him. Got to play catch, the whole thing, like just incredible. Just an incredible thing. Our definite thoughts, prayers with that kid that he can get through this. And so rad.
That is don't and do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Now, you had a bonus Don't Do This that I'll let you – why don't you throw it in when we come back?
All right, I'll just tease it.
And we're not even –
Adam thought he was off the hook, but he's not. He's lost this. Okay, again, what did I just say? It's the playoffs. Don't act any differently.
Is it extra sweet because this is against the Dodgers?
Don't make any big – don't waver. Don't do anything different. He's starting to lose it a little bit.
He's not ready for October.
He's not ready.
I don't think he's built for October.
Paulie, he is not built for October, man. You guys saw the tweet?
That's usually like week 5 for his Falcons.
Week
6 for
normally
the Bulldogs.
I just ignore it, but
Ben actually
Dan and Shay when the Braves are in the World Series.
Ben actually threw up a thumbs down like the thing, the button
No, that was
on the
Paul.
on. Oh, that was
I
you.
did the face palm.
You did the face palm. That's right.
Emoji.
Which Ben doesn't use emojis, so.
And I don't usually use emojis, but I did this time.
Thought he was
face
get off the
palm.
hook. This guy, come on, man, just relax, calm, tranquilo. Okay.
Back next
Tranquilo.
with Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. So this time of year, even the smallest of mistakes can be very costly.
I just don't want to make them. I don't want to be blamed for stuff. You know, we saw what can happen. It's just, I hope nobody's in their beat lab right now. You know?
That's what's in.
Right. And I don't want it to be from me or Palm or Adam or anybody. You saw this tweet last night. I saw it and it broke my brain for a second when I saw it. I read it and I went, all right, just take a deep breath, walk outside the room, and then come back in and reread it. Maybe you missed something. 13 hours ago from 97.3 The Fan. It says, it's a graphic. Paulie, did you make that graphic?
It's had nothing to do with this.
It's
my hands are clean.
It's just a graphic with Dylan Cease. It says Dylan Cease, 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 5 Ks. Listen to Padres baseball on 97.3 The Fan. And then it says you can spell Cease without ace.
Not in English.
I thought. So I said it again. I go, all right. You can spell Cease without ace. I think technically you're right, but it's almost saying like.
I mean, the letters A, C, and E do appear in the name Cease.
You can.
The first 3 letters are A, C, and E. You can't.
So he meant can't.
You can't spell.
So you got a typo.
Cease.
You can't,
without ace.
You already didn't like the idea.
I didn't like the idea,
but there was a typo.
But then there's a typo in it, which makes it worse. So you can spell. So that I was reading it, going, you can.
It should be you can't spell Cease without ace.
You can spell Cease. If you take out the E and the S in his last name, you get CAE. But if you jumble them, then you get ACE.
The letters are in there somewhere.
It's like tweeting, you can't eat fork, spoon. You can eat fork, spoon. Is when I read it, that's what I read. You can eat fork, spoon. And I went, what is happening? So I said, somebody's trying to be clever. But it was a typo that got me. You can't spell Cease without ace. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said...
Now he does.
I said, if you're here, come explain yourself. He said, holy S. I don't think he realized that he had the typo. So, I mean, again, it broke my brain. Everyone is tweeting, don't do this, please stop. So I said, I'm changing the password tomorrow. I'm going to handle all social media duties moving forward, which, by the way, I'm sure he would love. And I did not commit to that. Paulie erased that from the tapes. But yeah, he gets very excited. He gets very excited, our boss, Adam. Doesn't he?
He does.
And in playoff time,
does.
oh my God.
We've heard it.
My God.
We know what it sounds like.
We've heard it.
Is it extra sweet because this is against the Dodgers?
A little overly excited during playoff time.
Is he going to be down there again in the clubhouse? I submit.
Probably.
I submit no.
I
would like to do it.
Oh, really?
Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I
would like you to do it.
You'd like me to do it?
I've done it before.
You have?
Yeah. All right, it was
I've done
Adam
it before.
and Scraby last time. I think it only makes sense. It's me and Woods this time.
Oh, what about Ben?
He's going to be there. He's got Channel 10 credentials, right?
I will be there. I'm not. So now, oftentimes I am like on the air and can't actually be in the locker room.
Wait, don't you want that shot for Channel 10 of in the locker room?
I don't think you can go live in the locker room. That's why we're set up outside with a truck and
Not
stuff.
with video.
Yeah.
Audio
with
you
video.
can.
Yeah.
All right. Let's break it down. Here's what's going to happen. If Adam does it again this year.
Oh.
You know what's going to happen.
I do. I know
He's going to try to get content. I thought you guys would like it.
If I'm
here with Joe Musgrove. Joe, is it extra sweet because it was against the Diamondbacks?
Yes.
He's going to try to repeat it.
He's going to try to.
We can't have that.
When I started doing our buddy Chris Foster's voice on the radio, like, hey, he doesn't really talk like that.
No, he talks like a normal guy from NCDs.
He talks fast, so but when I hear it, I hear a little country twang. So I've amped it up for the radio. Then he would call here and leave voicemails. Hey, y'all, it's your old pal Foster. And I'm like, now you're doing the joke that I made. So now it's no good. Can't do it anymore. So now Adam will go in and he'll fully be like, is it extra sweet? Screaming. I'm like, bro, relax. What are you screaming at me for? So I do wonder if we need to just pull it from him.
I think it's a smart move.
Then that means I have to be down there and do it and all that, which is cool.
You'd love
but
it.
I think I would.
You'd get some good content.
All right. No, I'll volunteer if need be. I just hope we get there. Like I said, I don't want to jinx it at all. But yeah, I guess he didn't realize he left out the apostrophe T, which
you can spell Manny without yam, but you can't. So.
You can eat fork spoon.
He's gonna kill us.
He's gonna murder us. He's not even responding right now to the text. Yeah, let's get there first, as Dave says. Let's not put the cart before the horse and all that. So we're good.
Well, and to get there, fortunately, the Padres don't need to rely on help because they're not getting much. In fact, almost none yesterday. We'll discuss that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few things might slow you down a bit. Motorcycle accident southbound 15 before Claremont Mesa Boulevard. It's got the fast lane blocked. Heading into Hillcrest, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision southbound 163 before Washington Street. That's got the fast lane blocked. And crash the clearing stage on northbound 5 at H Street. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So my question is it too much to ask for the Colorado Rockies to sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks? And the answer was yes, that was too much to ask for. Corbin Carroll hit 2 home runs in the first 2 innings. Diamondbacks won yesterday 9-4. That keeps them 2.5 games behind the Padres in the wild card standings. Mets got a 9-run 4th inning. They destroyed the Nationals 10-0. Braves, it was close for a while, but Marcell Ozuna hit his 38th to break a tie in the 7th inning. They beat the Reds 7-1. So every wild card contender won yesterday. But as long as the Padres take care of their own business like they did, that's okay. You're getting closer to the end of the season. The calendar is the Padres' ally at this point. And the less days remaining, the better it is for them, the worse it is for the other teams in the race. So ultimately, it was a good day for the Padres. The only thing they didn't get to do was shave off any of the distance between them and the Dodgers in the NL West. Dodgers beat the Marlins 8-4. Got 5 shutout innings from Landon Knack. Shohei Ohtani stole his 49th base, so that lead remains 3.5. And we talked about it yesterday, why catching the Dodgers is not necessarily something you should count on. Even if they swept the Dodgers in L.A., you'd still need a little more help the rest of the way because the Dodgers are going to play 6 against the Rockies or 7 against the Rockies outside of their 3 against the Padres. So they're going to need Colorado to do, well, what they did to Arizona. They took 2 out of 3. They'll need some help from the Rockies to shave that deficit a little bit more, and they're going to have to take care of business against the Dodgers next week in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but again, listen, we win our ball games and let the other chips fall where they may. It's a big series coming up this weekend in that a couple of things are paramount to me. You want to win. I'd say obviously 2 out of 3. You have to. There's no reason to lose a series to the Chicago White Sox, and nor it won't be devastating, Ben. You don't run the risk of really missing the playoffs if that happens. You really don't. I'm not worried about that in the slightest. It's more of a just keep playing hard regardless of opponent. We've seen them stumble a little bit against inferior opponents, at least record-wise. But I'll tell you guys again, you guys know this. Baseball players are a proud, proud bunch, and no one wants to be part of history for being on the worst team of all time. Nobody. Even if you miss it if you dodge it by 1, still weren't the worst team of all time. It has been an excruciating season for those guys. They're going to be playing hard. They're not great, but they're going to be playing hard. They're going to be playing for a lot of pride.
If you want to catch the Dodgers, you got to win all 3 of these
Correct.
games. Correct. That's my take. I mean, mathematically, that's not true, but I think in reality, if you want a chance to catch the Dodgers, you got to win the next 3 against the White Sox.
Yeah, if you want to catch them,
and then hopefully the Dodgers do drop at least 1 game before that series, and you can go in, 2 back because they're playing 4. So if they dropped 1 and you won all 3, you would go in actually 3 back against the Dodgers. So that would give you a chance That would give you a chance to sweep them, tie them, and you'd have the tiebreaker.
Oh, yeah, you get the tiebreaker.
And then you just have to match them the last three games against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they're playing the Rockies again.
Yep.
But you just have to match them those last 3 games. So you'd have a legit shot over those last 3. That's why I think it pretty much requires sweeping the Chicago White Sox if you want to catch them.
Got to win on Friday. Got to beat Garrett Crochet. And as they mentioned in the chat, he is on a pitch count. They're keeping him. He's about 4-inning guy right now. Okay, no problem. I mean, their bullpen's not good. Their defense is good. Their hitting's not good. But you still have to win that ball game.
You got to keep Andrew Benintendi from continuing what's been a very hot streak for him recently.
Well, and really, again, for me, it's and Schill talked about this yesterday. He's like, I get what you're saying about the atmosphere and this and that and the playoff atmosphere. He said, but we just have to play our game. If we play our game, we can beat anyone. And I know it's kind of a tired adage in sports, but I think it's absolutely the right mindset. You don't do anything goofy. Don't kick the ball around, et cetera, et cetera. Go play your game, and you should beat the White Sox, really. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, there's a reason they've lost 117 games.
Yep.
They don't do anything well.
They don't do anything really.
The Padres
particularly
do
well.
everything pretty well.
Yep.
But it's still baseball. And like you said, you run into Garrett Crochet and he's on his game, you may find yourself in a close one. And if that, you're in a close one, hey, one play here or there, you can end up losing a close game.
Yep, come on in. Come on in. We got some time here. You can spell, what is it?
You can spell cease without A's.
Hi, Adam. Good morning.
Hi.
You didn't know what we were talking about.
I didn't realize I had the typo.
You ever heard of proofreading?
No, he gets too excited and just press
You're
send.
excitable.
Do you want to know what's going on?
Yes, tell me what's going on.
So I had the graphic ready because, normally the starting pitcher goes 6, maybe 7
Yeah.
innings. Thought it was a pretty quippy little line to have if I had written it
Yeah,
correctly.
I mean,
and then he only had 83 pitches through 7. So I'm like, well, I can't send that yet. He might be coming back out. He comes back out for
comes
the 8th.
back out.
Oh, well, he might be coming. So I had to take it down, and then Manny hits his
What
second
do you mean
home
take
run.
it down? You had it ready to post?
Yeah, I had it ready to post in
Okay.
case he was out of the game. And then Manny hits a second home run. I'm like, well, I'm going to make a little graphic for Manny hitting 2 home runs. So now I got to go put that together. Then Cease comes back out for the 9th. I'm like, well, looks like he's going to have a complete game. So I got to make a different graphic for the final score of everything. So I'm like, I'm taking everything. I'm going down, up. And then
what if I told you?
I posted a bunch of stuff all together. What if I told you?
What if I told you?
Less?
What if I told you just wait to see how it ends and then just do it? It feels like you're wasting a lot of time for every potential thing that could happen. Wait till it's over, make one graphic, and then send it out. Right? Am I insane?
Social media is that if you wait 5 minutes,
You're
it's no
last.
longer relevant.
But it is.
There's some urgency.
There's not. There's really not. Hey, look at me. They know what happened. They watched the game. They know what happened. I think they just want.
But people will click that heart button, and it'll give Adam some validation. He loves to see that.
The dopamine he gets
that
from
engagement, man. Sweet engagement.
You know what we made off that, by the way? $0.00. Not one nickel. You put yourself through all that torture for not one red cent.
There was a payoff.
What was the payoff?
Great segment.
Great content. Yeah, there you go.
I get to be the butt of a joke.
The butt of a joke. Yeah.
Now, I tend to take Adam's side a little more than you do. However, I will say
about everything.
Shocker.
Don't go into the post-game clubhouse in the playoffs and scream, "Is it extra sweet?" At every
You
single
got to get a new
person.
bit.
I will.
You have to get a new bit.
You can't do that.
That wasn't a bit.
That was a bit.
I won't be doing anything like that. Trust me.
All right.
But I don't need to go in because you're going in, right?
I'll go
You're
in.
gonna
Are you
take
okay
over
with
all
that?
social
Yeah.
media responsibilities. You're going to go.
He
do
just wants to
post-game
be in
stuff.
there
Just wanna be
collecting
in
the
there.
sound.
Did you get any audio ones? I'm like,
No.
What'd you do? I was spraying
there.
champagne. I was having a good time.
hammered.
I got
I have
hammered.
my arm around Manny.
Yeah. Woo! We did it. Bro,
Stolen dollar.
Blood thinks he's on the team.
We did it.
We did it. I'm so sore. Hey,
Just settle down.
just settle down. Just relax a little bit. Have you tried marijuana, maybe? A little indica?
I know a guy.
Got my kids running around like crazy.
I get
Just,
it. I get it.
Just trying to
I
serve
love
our
you.
audience.
I love you.
2 hours down, 3 to go, including a roundtable. Back with more Ben and Woods next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, we're halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 997.3 The Fan. Tom had a great idea. Said you guys completely missed it this morning. You guys could have done guttural yells. We made Ben do it this morning, but you could have just done it, well, back to back.
Back
to back.
to back to back.
Go ahead.
Yeah!
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 Back to back to back.
Back to back to back.
I heard
Why not, before we get too late, let's kiss the
Kiss
rally
the
roach.
roach. We got all our bits that we're doing in here.
Get it going for today.
Love you, you little rally roach.
Welcome back. Padres take 2 of 3 from the Houston Astros and move on to their final home series of the season tomorrow against the Chicago White Sox. It's been a good year. It's been a good year. I think that's the consensus, Woods, that whatever happens, and now our expectations are higher, obviously.
Oh, no.
But this has been entertaining baseball. This is baseball at its best. You know, it doesn't guarantee you one more win the rest of the way. But what we've had so far for the first 5.5 months been really fun and entertaining. And want to thank the San Diego Padres for what we've been able to experience this year. Exciting wins, great plays, drama late in the baseball game, walk-offs. It's just been really, really good baseball this year.
And you know what else, man, is not a lot of off-field drama, knock on wood. You know, still some time left. But not a lot of infighting, not a lot of things leaking out of unhappy people. And this guy's not doing what he needs to do. Watching them be together, being in the clubhouse, just the handful of times I have, there's a palpable difference in this team. We've talked about it. Of course, the results on the field prove that. But talking to the players, as we did Michael King the other day, that's been a lot of fun too. Because when things go south, everyone looks for the scapegoat, you know, or the scapegoats. What's happening? What are they doing? Why do these guys hate each other? Ooh, look at their body language. It's bad. There's been really none of that this year.
Well, you saw it, and our colleague Craig tweeted this during the back-to-back-to-back home runs yesterday. He said it's really something to see how much the Padres superstars root for one another and for their teammates. Seeing Tatis and Manny jumping over the rail and dancing for Solano's homer is a sign of how stitched together this club is heading into the playoffs.
They've busted a lot of narratives, too. They busted a lot of narratives that, oh, somebody doesn't care and he's giving up and blah, blah, blah.
He's just playing for the contract.
Playing for the contract. I mean, the narratives are busted. I'm sorry. And if that's how you live still, you're deluding yourself. I mean, none of that could be further from the truth. And I still see that garbage, you know, from time to time. It irked you yesterday about Tatis, who had a rough couple of at-bats yesterday, which, by the way, against one of the best pitchers in baseball, it's going to happen. It's what I tell my little leaguers. Don't get, it's hard as hell to hit. And I know they make a lot of money. It's still hard as hell to hit. For a lot of guys.
You know what? I'm okay when a guy's slumping. You know, criticism comes with the territory in baseball.
Absolutely.
I guess what bothered me though is Tatis is not slumping. Even my son texted me. He goes, "Oh, we got to get Tatis out of this slump." You know, it was after he struck out twice, and I go, "He's on an 8-game hitting streak with 4 home runs. By the way, it's now a 9-game hitting streak with 5 home runs.
Give me that slump any day of the week.
That's red hot. That's not a slump. Was he unable to get a guy in from third a couple of times?
Yes.
The last couple of days, and did he strike out against one of, as you said, best pitchers in baseball, who, by the way, saved his nastiest of curves for Tatis, because he knows, hey, I might be able to get my fastball, my sinker against Kyle Higashioka, but when Tatis comes up, I'm using the curve that has an opponent batting average against of 100 this year, because I'm not going to let him beat me on anything other than my absolute best stuff. And Tatis, he's going to have to hit some of the best stuff because he'll see a lot of that in the playoffs as well. But eventually he does, just like he did yesterday. He gets an opportunity. You're not going to face an ace every at-bat. And, when you get a mistake, you hammer it. And he hammered it.
I'm really encouraged by what they did against the Astros pitching staff, because that's a really good staff. That's a playoff caliber staff. And those are the guys that you're going to be going up against, and they're certainly, man, you look at the teams that are still left in it, and there are guys, there are pitching staffs you look at and go, all right, Nola, Wheeler, whatever, and the Dodgers, for all their troubles, they still have a couple of good arms at the top of their rotation. They do. They don't have much beyond it, but they still have a bullpen with guys with nasty stuff. You look around at all the teams, that Freddie Peralta for the Brewers, my God, there's some good ass pitchers you're going to have to beat. So that's encouraging to me. The fact that
no
this
team has ever won a World Series not facing any good pitching.
Good pitching, right? It's something. It's the hurdle they've all had to get over. The fact that this team doesn't K a lot, the fact that usually they're pretty good about getting those runs in. I hope they continue to play the brand of baseball that's gotten them to this point this year.
Well, when you say that's the kind of pitching the Padres are going to face in the playoffs, at least one Padre believes that's the actual pitching the Padres will face in the World Series. Manny Machado saying after the game, fairly unequivocally, he said, we're playing really good baseball. We played a really good ball club that we're probably going to be facing later on. And this was in Kevin Acey's newsletter, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't misquote Manny. It goes, so you know what you mean when you say that, because the only way you can face the Astros, is in the World Series. And Manny said, yeah, we're going to see them again. They're a really good ball club, and how we played the last few days, I mean, it's a little taste of it. And by the way, it went over to the other clubhouse as well. Mauricio Dubon said it would be a good World Series. They know who we are. We know who they have. It's a good thing we play best of 7 in October. I mean, did we see a World Series preview the last 3 days?
God, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm not the one saying it. Manny Machado is the one who's saying it.
You didn't have to bring it up.
He said, it's going to happen. That's what Manny said. It's going to happen.
This is Manny Machado.
And the Padres will be facing the Astros in the World Series in just over 1 month.
I hate him sometimes.
Manny?
You.
Me?
Yeah. We dictate the content on this program. We get to make the decisions of what is out there and what isn't.
Joe Espada, the manager of the Astros, says that's a really good team. They made some good acquisitions, and the back end is pretty good. They put the bat on the ball. There's some tough outs. Center fielder is pretty good player. We know what Machado can do in that lineup. It's just a complete offense. That's the manager who was the bench coach when they won a couple of World Series as well. He knows good baseball when he sees it.
They're a good team, man. They are. They're a really good team, and again, that means you beat a team like that. We're a good team too. I think it's okay to know that we're a good baseball team. And again, the playoffs are such a random series of events. It's just random.
It is, because last year I would say no one, including the Arizona Diamondbacks, knew that they were a good team going into the playoffs.
Correct.
They felt like one of those teams that kind of sneaks in and is going to be out early.
Yeah.
And instead, they made it all the way to the World Series. Yeah. The Texas Rangers.
Same thing.
Didn't look like they were going to do anything. They were limping to the finish line. Didn't even win their division after, blowing that lead. They end up winning the World Series title. So, yeah, absolutely anything can happen in October.
Think about in October. So I was tweeting with one of our listeners and one of my Twitter followers, Shirtless Whitson. Really funny dude. Hates Lisa Rise for some reason, so I'm always yelling at him about that. But other than that, he's a really, really smart baseball fan. And he said, man, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Xander. I'm not worried about Cronenworth right now. He said, yeah, it sucks to finish the season, struggling to find a hit. Jake's lost up there.
So those are the only two things I'm worried about now.
But
if I had to pick anything to worry about, it's like, all right, maybe Xander defensively at short and Crony.
But what he's saying is essentially, once the playoff comes, Tyler Wade can be a playoff hero. You know what I mean? Like once the playoffs get there, it's not always the biggest stars shining bright on the biggest stage. It's the role player guys. It's the Donovan Solanos. It's the Jake Cronenworth who delivers the hit off of Alex Vesia. One of the best moments in my life, and those are the guys that come through in October. It can be anybody's ball game in October, right? Everybody has the potential to be a star.
I mean, these are just some of the World Series MVP winners.
Steven Pierce jumps
Jeremy
off.
Pena.
Right.
Steve Pierce.
A rookie, by the way.
Ben Zobrist.
Right.
Of course, you have David Ortiz.
Sure.
Madison Bumgarner. Steven Strasburg. You do have, of course, those big names, but there's a lot of guys you're like, you were a role player.
Right.
You were not the MVP. You were not the star.
I'll never forget Steven Pierce. I mean, just out of his mind, out of his mind, hitting home runs and huge home runs and clutch home runs. And sometimes they take the foot off the gas, right? I just got through Arise, Tatis, Machado, Merrill, Bogarts. Whew. throw a heater to Jake Cronenworth, who drops the head on it, and 2-run double. You just never know. And
remember what Eddie Rosario did for the Braves in 2021,
insane, man. So I think like with Croney right now, at least he's weighing in with the glove, playing really, really good defense. He's still a great baseball player. Again, he just looks a little bit lost at the plate, not seeing it particularly well. Looking at pitches yesterday that were clearly strikes, and he's upset. So, we're big Croney stands on this show and always will be. But, yeah, man, and I don't think he's worried. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen, and I fully expect him to deliver a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, his second half of the season, just looking at his splits, obviously – not as good as the first half. In August, he hit 260, but in September, he's now hitting 163.
Hannah and I were laughing because he slumped in my birthday month of July, and
198 in July, 163 in September. Your two birthday months.
And I tweeted to my buddy yesterday, I said, well, Hannah's birthday month weighs us all down. It's a nightmare for all of us. So I fully get it. Why Croney slumped.
Now, outside of that, he's had a really solid season. Yep. But those 2 months have dragged down the numbers for sure.
For sure. He's having a rough September. But again, once the clock strikes October, Benny, it does not matter. It's everyone. Guess what? Everybody resets to 0. Everyone. What's your batting average? 0. How many home runs you got? 0. How many wins you got? 0. How many saves you got? None. How many Ks? None. The slate is clean. And that's got to be a good feeling for those guys. So I fully expect those dudes to play good baseball because that's what they've done all year.
If you want to talk about the unpredictability, though, look at the American League playoff chase right now. And the Detroit Tigers, who have moved within a half game of the Minnesota Twins. The Detroit Tigers, who put up the white flag essentially at the trade deadline. They traded Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
Who's been really good for the Dodgers. Like their only good pitcher in the second half of the season. And they traded him away.
Is he their game
one starter? Yes, he is. He's their game one starter in the playoffs. And the Detroit Tigers traded him. And since then have made a huge run to climb within half a game of a playoff spot.
Crazy.
Now, they kept Skubal. So that's helped them. But, I mean, if they had kept Flaherty, they might be already in a playoff position at this point. And the Dodgers might be done if they didn't get Flaherty because they have nothing. Their pitching is gone. And Flaherty has kind of kept them from completely sinking under the water level thanks to that trade.
Yeah, man.
And it's a trade that the Tigers would undoubtedly go back and undo if they could now.
In a New York minute, dude. No question about it. So I can't wait. This is the greatest time of year. And let's all love each other and let's love our guys. They've earned it this year, and I get it, man. I was as frustrated as anyone yesterday when that ball went under his legs. I just go, oh no. But you know what? He gets that ball tomorrow. He's gonna make that play. That's how I feel.
All right, it's a Throwback Thursday.
Yeah,
and this is actually this week a very special anniversary of what happened 4 years ago. This week. We're going to take you back on a Throwback Thursday when we come back. And then Eno Saris is going to join us at the bottom of the hour for some smart baseball. Very important this time of the year. Maybe we'll talk to him about bunting a little bit with Eno coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Throwback Thursday with Ben and Woods, and actually a couple of anniversaries tomorrow. September 20th, 40 years ago tomorrow, the Padres clinched their first ever division title and first ever trip to the postseason. Tim Lawler with the pitcher hits a home run himself. Padres win and clinch the National League West. Obviously, they'd go on to beat the Cubs in the NLCS in 5 games and face the Detroit Tigers in the World Series. But that was their 15th season, and they finally made the playoffs in 1984, 40 years ago tomorrow. Of course, there's only been, I think, 7 playoff seasons in Padres history? Is that right? I think that sounds right. 1984, 96, 98, 2005, 2006, 2020, and 2022. Yeah. So that's it. Those are the playoff seasons.
Should it be 8?
In Padres history. One of those came, 2 of them technically with the short season, but the first one came in 2020, 4 years ago. Tomorrow, was it, Paulie?
Yes, 4 years ago tomorrow, the Padres clinched in that 60-game sprint of a season. Don't remember who they were playing. For whatever reason, I want to say like the A's because they played so many geographically
it was all West
teams.
kind of coast opponents.
But I definitely could be wrong on that. But I do remember watching on TV.
Somebody will tell you in the chat.
And after the game was over, they extend
Mariners.
Yeah. Okay. They do extend the broadcast, and you had a lot of Don and Mud after the game, and I think they were going down to the clubhouse to do some interviews. But Mud, of course, who's been here just for so long and seen some really bad baseball over the years. He's also seen some good baseball, but he's seen a lot of bad baseball.
I loved this.
And he got so emotional.
I loved it.
On the broadcast on Bally Sports, I think it was at the time. But here's that clip.
I didn't think I was going to react this way, but this is incredible. It's just been too long. Mark Sweeney wore the uniform. He knows what it's like. And since 2006-14, I didn't think I was going to react this way, for the love of Pete. I mean, I'm just so happy for those guys down there, and it's been too long. And a lot of it's emotional because I wish we were on XM or Sirius right now, because I would use some salty language right now to tell people how I really feel. So I'll clean it up. Just sick and tired of other teams beating up on the Friars. And for them to win today and clinch a spot, it's really, really special. AJ did a great job at the deadline. This team has so much going for them. I remember talking to TJ Lacida, who does the traveling arrangements for the Padres, and I asked him about some guys in the team, and he said, you know what, Mud? He goes, we got a special thing going on down here. And I'm so happy that they were here. People are watching at home right now and just celebrating. And yeah, go for it. It's been way too long. And we all know that it's been a 60-game season. Every team has been in the same boat. Don't think of this as, oh, well, it's just one of those seasons. No. Yes. Every team has the same situation. They've been playing great baseball all the way around. They love one another down there in that clubhouse, and it shows. So getting to the playoffs is huge. It's not necessarily the best team. It's who's playing the best. We've said that many, many times. So I apologize for getting a little emotional here, but hey, this is a huge deal. This is a big deal. It's been way too long. 14-year drought. It's about to change, and not just this year, hopefully for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't count at all, but it's still a very good moment.
Mud talks about how 14 years, I mean, in any scenario, he probably would have gotten emotional. But then you factor in the year that 2020 was, and how ridiculously different and bad those 5 months were between March and that moment in September. Like, we needed something to feel good about.
100%. That's really what it was, man. But I go and tuck Bo in every night, and when they asked us if you guys want to do the big cutouts, and you can do your picture, and we'll put your cutout behind home plate, and I said, no, do my kid. That's what I want. And somebody, a Tier 1, tracked that thing down. And we keep it, and it's in Bo's room. And when I walk in at night to tuck him in, I look over there, and it gives me like, oh my gosh, remember those days? He was just a little bub. And seeing that cutout in his room that was sitting behind home plate in those games was just nuts. It's nuts every time I see it. So no, it was a cool thing, certainly. But yeah, we needed it. It was a sense of normalcy you felt.
You know, it's funny because that short season, the 60 games, essentially is like you just played the second half of the season post All-Star break, And remember, the Padres went 37-23 in those 60 games. Well, this year, if you go back to the All-Star break, Padres were 50-49. Pretty mediocre for the first 100 games of the season, essentially.
One game above average.
And since then, they've been 37-17. So it's essentially been kind of almost a 60-game season here.
Yeah.
And they've done what they did in 2020. They've played really good, even better than they played in 2020 this second half of the season. They just didn't have to go through the grind, which is just such a part of it. You do have to tread water for a while, and they did in the first half of the season. That's what Mike Schilt told us way back in spring training. He told us kind of privately, but he said it publicly as well. This is not what our team's going to look like at the end of the year.
Yeah.
This is the start, and there will be growing pains. There will be, moments where we're going to have to figure it out. But by the end, he was pretty confident back then. By the end, you're going to like this team and what it all comes together to be. And he was absolutely right about that.
100%, man. Like Merlin. You know what I mean? Like prognosticating, saying, yeah, we're going to finish stronger than we start, which is, I think that's what everybody wants. Of course. I mean, think about all the teams that started off so hot this year, and you thought, Phillies, I mean, they're 110 wins. Dodgers are going to be 110, 115 wins. Yankees are going to be 105, 110 win team. Nope.
Cubs were hot early.
Were hot. Yep.
Fell off. Even the the Reds were being talked about as a playoff contender. The Pirates for a while. They've both been eliminated officially already from playoff contention.
Travis in the chat is freaking out because we haven't answered his question. He said, "Where is Mud?" I don't know.
Guys get series off.
The guys take vacation. I have no idea what to tell you. I have no idea.
Probably the last couple of days off for the stretch run.
Yeah.
Although, you know what?
Here, I'll put Mud's cell phone number in the chat.
Put Mud's number in the chat. And
they don't do the games in the postseason, though. Don and Mullen are off.
They're off.
They go, but they're not on TV in the postseason.
Will Don do some games?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have a national game or two for TBS.
Yeah.
But not necessarily a Padres game.
I absolutely loathe it.
I do too.
I loathe it.
Now, Jesse and Tony will work all the way through.
Yes. I loathe.
There should be a way to still have
100%
the national broadcast. Like, it can still be on Fox, TBS, FS1, whatever.
How come
at least the home broadcasters, and when you go on the road, it's the other team's home broadcasters.
Football does 47 broadcasts per game.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
There's a Manning cast. There should be a Mudcast.
A Mudcast would be amazing.
A Don and Mudcast.
I mean, it's such a bummer. It's like that would be like a player playing the entire season with the team and having a great season. Like, you're not playing in the playoffs. What? Yeah, you're done. Well, why? I've had a monster year. Yeah, we're going with a couple other guys from other teams. Stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Yet another way we get absolutely hosed by baseball. You know what happened to me again?
What happened to you again?
Went to watch Dodgers Marlins. Blacked out. MLB TV. Blacked out. Guess what I did again? I watched another illegal stream. This is what I do now.
Set a good example for your children.
Non-violent criminal streamer, Stephen Woods.
Aren't you worried that by admitting your crime, you're going to get home and they're going to be waiting with the handcuffs for you when you get back?
Rob Manfred should bail me out.
The SWAT team will be there waiting to arrest you.
It is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Adam says you can spell playoffs without 97.3. It's true. That is true.
But we will be with you as far as it goes here on 97.3 The Fan. Only place to get local broadcasters in the postseason.
That's right.
Maybe they can let Don and Mud do an inning. Maybe Jesse can have them into the booth for an inning somewhere. Just to be fair.
Well, it'd be like a round table during a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're Don and Mud, you're like, you want me to roll down? We can sit in the owner's box and get hammered. You think we want to come in and do an inning? If we're off, we're off. That's exactly what they do.
I remember seeing them they'd show them on the big screen during the games.
There's nothing like it.
And they're just chilling and
having a great time.
Rosy cheeks and
rosy
smiling.
cheeks. Mud, a couple
showing YouTube videos to Don.
Couple adult beverages.
We'll come back. Eno Sarah, smart baseball. I mean, is it smart to play exactly the same during the playoffs as it was in the regular season? I kind of wonder. what Eno has to say about that.
Good question.
Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. feel like smart baseball becomes even more important as you get late in September, early in October, or maybe smart baseball doesn't care what time of the year it is. It's always a good time for smart baseball. We got Eno Sarris standing by. Our weekly conversation with Eno from The Athletic coming up right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few trouble spots here, guys. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a stalled vehicle in the center divide on westbound 8 just before Mission Gorge. Also traveling on northbound 805 right before the 52 collision in the center divide. Couple vehicles involved. Got this accident involving a motorcycle blocking the fast lane south on 15th at 163 and northbound 125 on the Birch Road off-ramp collision. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Now, let me qualify that, because it's always a good time to play smart baseball, because it's never a good time to play dumb baseball. It's just a worse time to play dumb baseball when you could be eliminated late in the season or in the playoffs.
Seattle playing a little bit of dumb baseball right
last
now.
couple of days,
You know?
base running, gaffes, blunders.
It's tough. It's the pressing thing, I think.
Welcome to Eno Sarris from The Athletic. Good morning, Eno.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Great. I'm just, I'm trying to, when a team, kind of like knocks on the door and, has some pain in its history, you try to like stop yourself, like I texted somebody in the family, like, man, could this be the year? And then like seconds later, Robert Suarez blew the save that day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, shame on me, shame on me. Don't think things like that. Just be happy with the win tonight, that sort of deal,
Yeah, be happy with the win tonight, and then, focus on just the win ahead tomorrow. It is the only way to play. It's the only way to play that game.
Very Mike Schilt-esque of you, that's for sure.
It's the only way to do it, man. 162 is a long time, and I will say this, and you can speak to this more than me. Do you see a big disparity in the way a team will play in the regular season, and then the way they completely switch the way they play in the postseason? Because I will tell you, man, there's a really great writer here. He goes by Letters to AJ, and he wrote a blog about what was the title of it, Benny? It was like
Playing Scared.
It was like essentially playing a little bit scared and more cautious with the leads. You're just shorten up your leads, don't get picked off, things like that. It gets tight. It gets really tight around this time of year. Do you see a big disparity of that in the playoffs of teams switching their identities?
I think, so I'm a numbers guy, and when I try to look at things like the best age for a team, or playoff experience, things like that, I can't find it in the numbers. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and I think that's where playoff experience could find its way onto the field, if you know what I mean. Like, I do think that a lot of the San Diego core is better for having had, these mini runs of, getting close and winning in the postseason, at least winning a series, because it's a little bit more like, all right, guys, like this may be that we're in the playoffs, but we've been here in this place before and we want to get further. So, it's not so much like, everything matters about what happens in this wild card series. It's more like, let's just play this like we've played all year and get to the next level. So maybe there'll be a tightening at some point, if they go, all the way to the series or something. But I do think that most of the players on this team have been there before in a way that they'll be fine.
We've talked about bunting before as a strategy. No problem if you can bunt for a base hit from time to time. Jurickson Profar laid down another sacrifice, though, with nobody out and 2 on in the third inning yesterday. Padres ended up not scoring in that inning. He's been such a valuable offensive player, but he'll say there's a lot of nuance that goes into it. How I'm feeling against the pitcher at the time, just my chances. I feel at success, at getting a hit, and what's more valuable to the team. And I certainly understand that, but analytically, where are we on bunting? I mean, are there
Are there points in the game where a sacrifice does make sense, or is this full Moneyball, like, don't ever do it, we don't ever want to see it, don't ever give up and out?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was sort of sabermetrics 1.0 where it was just like bunts are bad, stop doing this.
Yes.
But we've refined that over time, and there's been sort of contextual times when it does actually make sense. And one is that if you see that third baseman is playing you further and further back over time, you know, you're a power hitter, maybe you're a little bit slower, and you just see they're playing you all the way on the grass, basically. You know, they can't be on the grass now, but you know what I mean. They're playing you all the way back. You can actually just dump a little bunt down, and that third baseman will play closer next time. Like, it's just how it works, you know? And if you can bring that guy closer in, maybe you can hit the next hit over his head. So that's a contextual thing that can matter. The other is like you will lose win expectancy by bunting because you're giving away an out, and it's not usually worthwhile to give away an out. But the lower the run expectancy, so the tighter the game, the later it is, and the fewer runs you expect the team to score, the more it makes sense. So in another way of saying it is, if it's the 8th inning of like a combined no-hitter both sides,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
On a way.
And you've got a guy on first, yeah, bunt him into position because you're not expecting to get a lot of hits. You're playing for one run with all your life. But you know, if it's like a 10-9 game, you know, and you're in the middle of the bullpens or even the end of the bullpens, then don't bunt because you need to score more than one run. So and then with the new rules with the overtime, the extra innings rules, you know, sometimes a bunt makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. I think if you're in the top of the inning, you want to play for runs.
Yes.
In extra innings. And if you're in the bottom of the inning, then you want to play for one run. You know, like
yeah,
if
you hold
tied,
yep.
In the bottom of if it's tied and it's the bottom of the 10th, then you want to get that guy on second to third. I think you might bunt with your first batter unless it's, you know, Manny or you know what I mean. Like I think you kind of want to get that guy so he can score on a sacrifice fly. You know, so you know there are times when bunts make sense for sure.
No question. Talking to Eno Saris here on Ben and Woods this morning. So I'm going to ask you to put your general manager / manager hat on right now for the playoffs. Based on what you've seen from Robert Suarez, based on what you've seen from Tanner Scott, based on what you've seen from Jason Adam even, Eno Saris is at the helm. Season ends today. Playoffs start tomorrow. You're taking the Mets. You're playing the Mets. Who's your closer in your mind?
Man, I think, and this is going to sound like I'm weaseling out, but you know,
it's fine. We do it all the time.
I think I'm going to go committee, man.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think it works is because Tanner Scott is a lefty, you know, and you know, Robert Suarez still has totally shown the stuff to be a closer, but Tanner Scott also has the stuff to be a closer. And so, you know, I think if you've got a lefty-heavy lineup, why not throw Tanner Scott in there? You know, I'm not calling for Suarez's job, and you know, he has a great fastball, and I think he has great secondaries that, you know, he still could pitch at some time. I was pointed out to me that, like, you know, there were some injury concerns with Suarez over the offseason, and like that might be part of why he's not throwing the cutter more.
Yep.
That maybe it doesn't feel good. And then the changeup he can't command that well. So, you know, if he's a one-pitch pitcher, Tanner Scott is decidedly a two-pitch pitcher, and they're both great pitches. So I would still keep Suarez as my nominal closer, but I would, you know, if they had two lefties out of three coming up in the ninth, I could see putting Tanner Scott out there.
Maybe a little early for this, but, you know, Padres do seem on track to at least be playing in a wild card series, Eno, and they've got 4 really solid starting pitchers right now who are all throwing well. They're going to have to make a decision on, you know, who they're going with in that series as a starter, and that would leave one of the guys in the bullpen. It might be Michael King. We talked to Michael King about it, and he said, hey, whatever the team needs, you know, I like starting, but
he also said,
I've been a reliever. I know how to do it.
He also said, I want a playoff start.
Right. He wants a playoff start. But someone's not going to get one in that first round. If it goes 3 games, maybe 2 of them won't. How would you think the Padres should deploy that extra starter in a potential wild card playoff series, whoever it is?
I think it's Michael King. No matter what, he's coming up on innings totals he hasn't done before in his career.
Yep.
You know,
he's already done.
And we've seen that he can be really, really special with that extra velo. I mean, as a reliever, he was. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad starter at all. I'm just saying, like, as a reliever, he was special. So, you know, if he does come out and he can throw a little bit harder, he could be a real wild card. And the way that I would keep him is he's my first pitcher out of the pen. And he is the guy that comes out in the second or third, because that's another thing when people talk about getting tight. I mean, I don't know if that's tight or if there is no tomorrow. But you might see somebody like Joe or you or somebody coming out in the second or third inning, because if they put 2 or 3 guys on and it's a 0-0 game, like, come bring in Michael King.
High stress.
Yeah, it's high stress. You can't lose that game. And Michael King could get you 2 or 3 scoreless, and now you're into the bullpen. So, that's how I would use Michael King. And I would say we're going to get you that playoff start by getting to the next round. We're going to need you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, 100%. If you get to the next round, you're 100% going to get that playoff start that you covet. Talking to Eno Saris here on Ben and Woods this morning. Last one, just kind of your thoughts right now on hottest teams going in, teams you're worried about, just kind of your overarching thoughts in the playoffs. Such a great time of year, and the last couple of weeks certainly have not disappointed. I've watched, I told my wife the other day, I go, baby, you don't understand. In a playoff, I got to watch the Mets game. I got to watch the Diamondbacks. I'm watching the Dodgers. I'm streaming illegally over here. So I'm trying to catch all of this independent race. But other than the Padres, who we cover ad nauseum, who do you like right now as far as, like, man, these guys are playing good ball, could be a real threat in October?
Well, one thing that's so weird, and it just runs counter to the way our minds work, is that I could not find a relationship between September record and playoff success. And so you have, like, the Tigers, who are, the best team in baseball over the last 30 days, right. 19 wins. And you have the Mets with 19 wins. And yet, you still have playoff odds that say that the Braves have better playoff odds than the Mets.
Yeah.
And that the Braves are a better team than the Mets. And I think there is a little bit of the wiping slate clean that, you get in, and you shorten your playoff, you shorten your staff, you shorten your everything shortens. You don't have to play your 5th or 6th best reliever anymore. And I think that is why the September records can sometimes lead us astray, because we think, like, Baltimore must be terrible,
Yeah.
And, then you get into the playoffs and you're like, oh, wait, like, this is a really good lineup. And, when you're only pitching your top 3 starters and your top 3 relievers, like, it's a much better team. So I know that it looks really bad in Baltimore, but I consider them still a threat. On the other hand, the Yankees are playing well, and they will benefit, I think, from shortening. And they will be able to take somebody like Nestor Cortez, put him in the Michael King role, where he can come on if a starter has some issues. He's left-handed, so that's kind of a fun thing to play with. Maybe you have a righty starter, and then you bring out Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt is a righty, or Nestor Cortez is a lefty. And they've been sort of getting right and putting people in the right places. And they have some youth in Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, and Austin Wells, youth up the middle. There's good defenders up the middle. That are wild cards that could kind of have something click and go nuts in the postseason. So I think the Yankees are, I think the Yankees are going to come out of the American League.
Before you go, and we haven't talked about this, Woods. I don't know. Did you see the story that Dennis Lynn posted yesterday about the Jackson Merrill baseball card?
No.
So, yeah, apparently there was these baseball cards that were printed when he was just drafted, like these original Bowman Topps cards. But that's not Jackson Merrill on the card. It's a right-handed hitter with a big leg kick, and it's not him. And it's a guy named Isaac Fry. Dennis Lynn tracked him down. Eno owns one of these cards. How did you get this card, Eno?
Dude, I mean, I follow the Padres, like, especially tightly because of the show even, and and I got Padres fans in the family, and I was at the card shop and I said, oh, Jackson Merrill, like, I've been told, like, I've been told he's like a hot prospect. This is when he was like in high A or something, you know?
Wow.
And I was like, somebody told me he's going to be like a top 50 prospect next year. So I was like, psh, and I paid $2 and I bought this card.
And how much is it worth now?
I don't know, but
I saw
I
like
just put it
8,000. You know,
Shut up.
No way.
Guy sitting on a.
It's not Jackson Merrill. It's a right-handed hitter. He's a guy's named Isaac Fry. The photographer misidentified him because the box score was wrong at like a wood bat tournament.
Well, this is also funny. In the local Little League, I'm the Game Changer guy, and Game Changer is the guy who scores the game and like does the box scores and everything. So basically, the Game Changer guy at this like futures game type situation screwed up.
Oh my God.
And had Jackson Merrill as the ninth hitter when it was this Fry guy. And so the photographer comes in, is taking pictures, and he's like, "Oh, I got pictures of the ninth hitter. The ninth hitter was Jackson Merrill," and he sends them in, and then the box gets to Jackson Merrill full of thousands of cards he's supposed to sign. Like 1,500 cards he's supposed to sign for Topps. And he says, "Yo, I'm not signing this. That's not me." So the kids came home last night, and I said, "Hey, look at this card. It's wrong. What's wrong with it?" And I made them do some sleuthing, and they figured it out.
I have one baseball card. I've got the Billy Ripken FU card, and I keep it.
I told my kids about that after that.
I keep it in my safe. I just love it. I think it's the card that represents me the most, and that's so rad. I need to read that story. I did not read it.
Yeah,
$8,000
story.
You could go to Greece, my friend. Well, we're out of time, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Saris, every Thursday, Smart Baseball brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, and hold on to that. Yeah, it could be more valuable as Jackson Merrill continues his meteoric rise in Major League Baseball. All right, we'll come back. We still have our football threesome, and Paulie's got some stories for us in the Reindl Report. We'll get to that all next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Good things came in threes yesterday on the San Diego sports scene. Obviously, 3 straight home runs for the Padres, back to back to back. And congratulations to the San Diego Wave as well, who played the Portland Thorns at Snapdragon last night. Woods, they were down 2-0, the 65th minute. Not usually a good sign for a soccer team.
No.
Maria Sanchez scored not once, not twice, but thrice. A hat trick to lead the Wave back to a 3-2 win. 65th minute, 67th minute, and then 85th minute. 2 of them on penalty kicks, and they got the win last night, 3-2.
Like a week's worth of goals.
Yeah, in like 20 minutes by one player. That's like a month's worth of goals for the Wave, unfortunately.
It's like college basketball. If you had told me, Woodsy, tune into the Wave game, there's about to be 3 goals in like 4 minutes, I'm all in. It's why I like box lacrosse a lot, because there's a lot of goals. Yeah, I like goals.
I've been trying to get more into soccer, especially with the MLS coming.
Sure.
I'm excited about that. But I always have that reservation that it's a sport, and we're susceptible with it in baseball. The frustration of when you feel like you play well, but you don't get any rewards for it. And that seems to happen more in soccer, where we controlled the flow of the match. Possession time was dominant in our favor.
Great touches.
We had 12 shots on goal. The other team only had 1. Oh, how many did you win by? We lost 1-0. So it's like, that is a frustrating sport to follow, because every game is going to be 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, and that means the variation can, I think, be a little more making you want to pull your hair out sometimes in soccer. I'm trying to get ready for it with the MLS coming and watching the Wave like this season. Like, what happened to them? They were the best team in the league last year, and this year they can't score at all. And you feel part of that is just a little bit of soccer. It's just the bad fortune of soccer. And we see that in baseball too. Like, what's the difference between last year's Padres and this year's? Not as much as you'd think.
Right.
Yeah, but yet it seems night and day.
It feels night and day, certainly. But you're right. The results on the field, I mean, flip a couple of 1-run losses, flip a couple of extra innings, and,
Which team had a better run differential?
Right.
The 2023 Padres or 2024?
They did.
The 2023 Padres.
Which is insane.
The ones that finished 2 games above 500 had a better run differential than the ones that are currently 21 games above 500 right now.
It was that gnarly feast or famine. And to be able to go out and win a game like they won yesterday, yesterday was certainly not a feast. It was a home run barrage, right? It was great, but it was not a feast. It wasn't 12-1.
But it's all about the timing.
It's timing and being clutch and having the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and the thing is too, think about how many missed opportunities there were this series. For all intents and purposes, Benny, you should have won all 3 of those games. Like of course. Absolutely should have won all 3 of those games. Just didn't go your way. So not to keep bringing up last year, but last year you lose all 3 of those games more than likely. So it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, Paulie is going to get to stuff we missed. It is time for the Roundel Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Roundel Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, we will start off in the National Football League. The NFL, the Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame actually announced their 167 candidates for the upcoming Hall of Fame class.
Including Woods' favorite player of all time.
Yeah, it's headlined by your boy, Eli Manning.
Hi, man. I'm just happy to be nominated.
I will now read the other 166 names.
Yes, thank you, Paulie.
No, I won't.
We'll just go yay or nay on each one.
You should ask Mike Schilt to read them in tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
Like you did last 2 weeks ago.
But do it with only 2 minutes left.
Schilty, if you could you rip through the 167 guys from that could potentially be going into
thing,
camp.
Eli Manning, Luke Kuechly.
To be fair, I asked him to single out one person who wasn't getting enough credit for everything the Padres, and he singled out 40 people that were not getting enough credit.
Hi, this is Mike Schultz.
So just, Paulie, text him that list and just say, got a great way to kill some time on Friday after an off day. If you could just read these, that'd be great.
No, it's headlined by Eli Manning, Defensive Players of the Year, Luke Kuechly, Terrell Suggs, Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, gotta
Super
throw him in,
Bowl
right?
hero. I think
so.
he's a lock.
I don't think I've ever seen him miss a kick, ever.
No. And then there's, of course, guys that have been on the ballot before, but they didn't make it. Let's see. Last year, Antonio Gates was on there. Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Darren Woodson, Eric Allen, Rodney Harrison, Jared Allen.
I feel like there's a lot of names that I'm like, yes.
First timer on the list who won't make it. He's not a Hall of Famer, but it was good to see his name. And one of my favorites, Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
Love Sprolesy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other first timers, linemen, Travis Frederick, Ryan Khalil, and Joe Staley. I think if
you've heard of the lineman's name, they're probably a Hall of Famer.
Joe Staley is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, because you've heard of him.
Yeah.
So there you
It's
go.
his first time on the ballot this year. Running back, I think this one's interesting. Marshawn Lynch dominated the league for like 4 years, but had a kind of a short career. I don't know that he's got the numbers or longevity, but when you're like the top dog,
feels like it.
I'm going to say no.
No?
I don't think he is either. Demarius Thomas, Vernon Davis, Delaney Walker, Aqib Talib, Earl Thomas is another one.
Now that one feels like maybe
an
a yes
absolute
to me. Yeah,
beast, but
not that long.
Kind of called it quit or
Safety for the Seahawks.
He was one that was carted off and flipped off Pete Carroll.
Did he go somewhere else?
I think it was like Dallas
or San Francisco.
Was he the one with the brother and the creepy?
No.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Do you remember this?
Yes. I don't believe
I think
that
it was.
No, he went to the Ravens. Yeah.
Ravens. All right.
So, yeah. Eli Manning, though, it's funny. He doesn't have like the world's greatest numbers, but he's got the 2 rings.
Yeah. Brady beat Tom Brady.
I read here, let's see, he's one of 13 quarterbacks to win multiple Super Bowls, with 8 of the 9 who are eligible being in the Hall of Fame. Jim Plunkett was the only one that wasn't inducted.
This is the story you were remembering. On May 6, 2020, it was reported by TMZ.
Yes, I remember this.
That Thomas's wife, Nina, held him at gunpoint after she found him and his brother Seth in bed with other women.
Yes, that's it. We had just started as a show.
Yeah.
It was like maybe our first Don't Do This story. I do remember that. I think your wife would be mad if she caught you and your brother in bed with other women. I think she's justified in being very upset.
2 years ago in Texas, his house burned down when it was struck by lightning.
Got a
rough stretch for
Earl Thomas. Jeez, dude.
All right. Well, that's the news from the NFL. We mentioned it very earlier in the show. The Milwaukee Brewers had a celebration yesterday, and it was kind of weird. Like, they didn't even have to play the game to know if they were in or not. They clinched before they even arrived.
Yeah, when the Cubs lost earlier in the day, they clinched. So they got to the ballpark going, hey, we won the division.
Yeah, but there was a really cool moment when they were in the locker room celebrating. Pat Murphy waited for the celebration. The manager always gives a speech. And he actually waited because he had to wait for Bob Uecker to get down into the clubhouse.
Hey, guys, hold up a second. Here he is. Hey, 1 second.
There's
There is no one who epitomizes a champion the way this man does right here. There is no one out here. What an example for us to be with every single day. Bob Uecker. No doubt about it.
So rad.
They shower him with beer and champagne. And he screams,
I peed my pants. He's so good.
I absolutely love Uecker. I mean, he's the best.
Oh, no.
For Pat Murphy,
here it comes. Here it comes.
To call him
here it comes.
The epitome of a championship player, though, is kind of weird, in that
the
he was
epitome of a champion.
a champion. Well, he was known primarily for being a really bad hitter in his career and a really good, funny guy
You're a
and broadcaster.
monster.
I'm sorry.
Just
His career batting average is 200.
abusing elderly people. Isn't that worse than the Mendoza line?
It is the Mendoza line. 200 is
200
the
is
Mendoza
the. I thought it
line.
was.
Yes.
I thought it was like 207.
I mean, he was, according to, he was generally considered to be a sound defensive player. That's very much the nicest thing they could say about Bob Uecker as a player.
You're sick. There's something wrong with
You
you.
you are ill.
Although he did win a World Series
Oh, he
ring with
did?
the St. Louis Cardinals in 1964
All right.
as a backup catcher.
So he's a champion.
So he does have a championship.
He
That's true.
epitomizes being a
He
champion.
epitomizes it apparently.
It's also funny. They have a very young potential future superstar named Jackson, just like we do here
Yep.
in San Diego, but he's not 21. And I did see that the Brewers surprised him with a cart full of non-alcoholic beer in front of Jackson Churrio's locker,
No,
which
and
is
a
pretty
stroller.
good.
It was a stroller.
A stroller,
A
yeah, baby
stroller full of non-alcoholic beer.
It's a great bit.
Pretty good. All right, and then finally, a little non-sports for you guys. Saturday Night Live is getting ready to return for their 50th season. I believe next weekend will be their first one.
Is this it
of the fall
for them?
No.
Lauren's almost out. Lauren Michaels. They're trying to figure out who's going to take over Saturday Night Live, but
Who wants that gig?
I think the front runners like Tina Fey or Seth Meyers.
Yeah, guys, the people that have done it.
Yeah. So they announced, let's see, they have 5 shows that have been announced going from September 28th through November 2nd, which, look, Saturday Night Live, always on top of the current events.
Yeah.
So they are announcing everything up until
The election.
the election.
Yeah, of
And then they will have, I don't know, 4 or 5 more after that to the holidays. So kicking things off, next weekend will be Jean Smart, who is the actress from Hacks.
She's really good.
She was
she's
one
gonna
of the
be-
designing women, too.
Yep.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
Was she?
Wasn't she?
I think so.
I think she was.
Was she?
Yeah.
I think Jean Smart's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a hilarious
Hacks is
episode.
awesome. She's funny as hell in it.
Musical guest that week. He's everywhere. It's Jelly Roll.
I'm not okay.
The week after that,
He had a really sweet tweet.
Jelly Roll.
He's like, hey guys, thank you so much. I can't stop thinking about it. Saturday Night Live, awesome, just rad.
That's cool.
He's
I mean,
a
that's got to be
very lovable dude. Very lovable.
That's got to
guy.
be a pretty cool moment when you get that call.
Incredible.
Yeah. So then the week after that will be comedian Nate Bargatze
Oh,
and
he's so funny,
Coldplay.
Oh boy,
Nate Bargatze, he did it like
he did it last year.
and
Was he not good?
I didn't think it was.
God, his stand-up slays me.
What do you think Coldplay will play? So they'll do one new song, and
Yeah.
then the second one they'll do a hit. What's their best song?
I mean, I don't know.
Viva La Vida?
No.
That's probably the one that they would play though.
I would think
What?
so. Clocks? I like
You got to play the
Clocks.
biggest song that you have.
Did we have that one in the?
I like it.
I like clocks.
Clocks.
Oh, I think.
I think
I think we already have that.
Isn't Yellow their biggest hit?
Scientist.
I don't want to do a Coldplay discussion right
I
now.
don't either.
Thank you very
After
much.
that, Ariana Grande, who also recently hosted, I think last year. I don't understand what they were doing this season.
She gonna
but-
do both?
No.
Oh.
The musical guest that week. For first time since 1983, Stevie Nicks is coming back. Now that could be good. That will be good. Michael Keaton will host on October
Yes,
19th.
love
Musical
him.
guest Billie Eilish. I
Okay.
think that's probably going to be one of the better episodes so far.
Billy Irish.
Billie Irish.
Ben says.
And then November 2nd, John Mulaney.
Just
who-
the Blarney Stone. Billy Irish.
John Mulaney, who again hosted like 8 months ago or whatever. He's coming on back. I don't find him very funny personally, and he's going to be the musical guest that week will be Chapel Roan.
I don't know who that is.
We talked about Chapel Roan when you were gone.
Well, you did.
And I make it a conscious effort to. I see a lot of hubbub about somebody. I try to go and
She's
like
massive.
Jelly Roll was one of them. I said, "What the hell is Jelly Roll?" So I went and listened. I reported back, and Chapel Roan was another one. Again, it's not for me. It's not for a 49-year-old man.
No.
It's not. And in fact, if you're a 49-year-old man and you're at a Chapel Roan concert by yourself,
Should probably be
I'm
arrested.
going to be looking at you. I'm looking into you and your background. I really am. It's not for us.
Okay.
but the kids love it.
She has
love
over
her.
45 million monthly listeners on
That
Spotify. That's a
is
very,
what
very high number.
Style, would you say?
A little bit edgier than pop, I would say.
But poppy.
But poppy. Yeah. Yeah. Not bad. I mean, I've listened to her.
Just not for us.
It's just not made for us, man. She's very talented, though.
I remember.
Cool name.
Chapel Rose.
Isn't that a cool name?
She had definitely already been on the scene, but when it got onto my radar, she was headlining like Lollapalooza, and there was like 250,000 people just going nuts out there in Chicago. But yeah, so that's what you got for SNL. Again, some good names.
Yeah.
But then I go, maybe get somebody that hasn't
How about
hosted in the last 12 months.
Some freshies.
Yes.
My vote's for Ben Higgins, to be honest with you. I think you would. I mean, I'd rather
Hosting
watch
Saturday
you.
Night Live?
I'd rather watch you than John Mulaney. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, give me some good writers.
Well, you have good writers.
The monologue would be terrifying. The opening monologue
and terrible.
Terrifying.
Let's be honest.
I think I could pull it off.
Of course, you think you could.
Maybe we make him do it at the Christmas and holiday extravaganza.
Ben
How about
just
that? We
hosts.
just had an idea.
I'm the
The
opening monologue.
opening
for the-
monologue. Oh, yes. I love when an idea comes together. Probably put that on the spreadsheet, please. Thank you.
Cold open, just silence, and then it opens.
Yeah.
And I walk out on stage.
Just like SNL. That
Hey, I
would
want to thank everybody
Yeah.
for coming in tonight.
So great to be back.
So great to be
back here in
Yep.
Bennett Woods.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's been a long time, almost 24 hours since I've hosted program.
Cannot wait.
We got a great musical guest for you.
Yeah, the
Switchfoot is here.
Slightly Stupid is in the house.
I love it. Hey, man, these are not bad ideas that we're just throwing out there. All right, write all this down. Jocelyn says, are you already planning the extravaganza? Yeah, it never ends.
We started planning, I don't know, about a
The
week
day
after
after,
the last one.
man. So we're going to get after it this year.
All right, who
we got a great show for you. Kyle Higashioka is here, everybody. Totyler. He's just sitting up like, what the hell is this?
Musical guest.
Adam Klug is here.
Hi.
We'll be right back.
Higashioka. And starring
Oh, it's so
Ben Higgins.
The house band is just me and Woods.
boom, 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 boom. Bobby Cressy, the three of us. Boom, boom,
Stephen
boom.
Woods and the Saturday Night Live Band. Featuring Paul Reindl.
Remember that dude, G.E. Smith?
Yeah.
He was such a shredder on guitar.
I love, that's Don Pardo, who was the longtime voice of Saturday Night Live. I love doing my Don Pardo.
That was pretty good. Not bad. I can't wait. Well, maybe then I have to host if you're going to do the intros.
I want to do the intros.
Those are two different jobs,
That's
buddy.
two different
I
jobs.
want to do the intros.
It's very good.
All right, who out there is ready for a football threesome? Not you, Earl Thomas. We will be back with our weekly.
My God.
After traffic.
Hang on. How long have you been sitting on that?
60 seconds.
Oh.
Coming back after traffic at 97.3 The Fan. Thank you.
One of your best.
Yeah, someone said it was a callback to both of our cameras are off because we both had to run to the restroom during the last
We just
break.
had to double barrel it. Me on
Couldn't
one,
qu-
Ben on the next.
4 hours is a long time to go, so you generally...
You know what's longer than 4?
5.
5.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Well, just getting older. That's what happens. Yeah. More frequent. I was on my golf trip. Very much, we had a long discussion about what kind of pills we all take. Is
And
that
not like the combos I had with my buddies in my 20s.
This is different. Oh, what statin are you on? And you take blood pressure medication? Any supplements? Oh yeah, I'm on vitamin D. Baby aspirin today?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It's got to be one of those you're turning into your parents' commercials one day. Don't talk about what pills you're taking.
Yeah.
That's a sign that you're getting older.
I'm on a vitamin D supplement as well.
We're both on vitamin D.
Look at
See,
that.
we never even discussed what kind of pills we're taking.
Why don't we all write down our regimens tonight? Bring them in. We'll do them
Paula,
tomorrow.
do you have a regimen?
Do you have a regimen? Vitamins? Okay,
All
save
right.
it.
Okay.
Everyone save
Tomorrow is regimen
Tomorrow's
day.
regimen day, 6 a.m. Bring them in. Remind us later, and it's going to take me a month to give you my regimen, but I have it for you. Just don't ask me why I take everything, okay?
No.
So you have to come in and defend it, and you have to explain why you. All right, Woodsy, why do you take that? Well, for cardiovascular health, obviously. Let's try it.
All right, let's get to our football threesome.
Can Ben and Woods interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
Oh, not that kind of threesome.
Dang it!
We're talking end arounds, the best tight ends in the world.
He must work out.
And going all the way in this game of inches.
Nice.
It's the NFL threesome with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino. Fun above all else on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
All right, we'll start our football threesome with a look ahead. Tonight's matchup, and you can hear it right here on 97.3 The Fan with the Padres off. 5:15 kickoff from the Meadowlands, MetLife Stadium. The New York Jets hosting the New England Patriots. The Jets, of course, finally getting their first win with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback last week. They are 1-1, as are the Patriots. I don't know. I think the possibility for comedy is high on this one. If the Patriots can go in and somehow knock off Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, I'd actually be okay with that.
Well,
I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, Jets are favored by 6.
Yeah, I mean, but that's actually not the worst line I've seen. I mean, the Patriots, I think, surprised people. Ramondre Stevenson's really, really good. He's a good running back that they have. But I think with Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall is fantastic. So I think that's probably a pretty safe bet. But those teams play each other really, really tough. So I maybe stay away from that one. We'll give you a pick on a game here pretty soon.
Yeah, Breece Hall was my number one fantasy pick. He's been pretty good
He's
so
good.
far.
Yeah, good player.
He's been solid. I've lost both of my games, but I don't blame him.
No, it's not his fault.
I'm favored to win again this. I'm playing Scravy this week, and I'm favored to win. But I was favored to win the last two, and I'm 0-2.
It's
so
not going well for you.
Not so far. All right, intriguing matchup of the week. I'm gonna say the 49ers playing without Christian McCaffrey, still obviously not injured, and now out, no Deebo Samuel as well. Can Brock Purdy lead his team to a road divisional win over the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium on Sunday afternoon? How much damage can a team absorb before they become pretty human looking? 49ers lost last week without McCaffrey. They looked so good in the opener. We're like, oh, why do we even play the season?
I know.
Just give it to the 49ers. And now they could fall to 1-2 this week. The Rams have looked good enough that they can, I think, beat a decimated 49ers offense. Now, the Niners are still favored by 7 in that game. That seems a little much.
Rams 0-2 right now. Cooper Kupp's got a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, they're missing Nakua and probably Cooper Kupp. They're also pretty decimated at this point as well.
Yeah, they're in the chamber for sure. I think the most interesting matchup for me that I saw, I like this Eagles-Saints matchup because the Saints are maybe the most surprising 2-0 in the NFL right now, along with the Vikings. You know what I mean? Both of those teams right now, pretty interesting. The Eagles did not look good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It just had a heartbreaking loss that cost your boy the last leg of a parlay. Just murdered me. So I think Saints at home against the Eagles. Pretty interesting matchup.
Also, they're doing that Monday night experiment thing again where they have 2 games.
Yeah, they drop a deuce on you.
Staggering the starts. So they got the 4:30 game on Monday, which is Jaguars-Bills. And then the 5:15 game on ABC, which is Commanders-Bengals.
Bengals 0-2. Ugh.
So you can kind of start with one, switch to the other, go back, for the fourth quarter of one, and then watch the fourth quarter of the other.
It's
I
the
guess.
NFL just flexing their muscle.
Exactly.
Just saying, look at us and what we can do.
All right, get to our picks here quickly. I am going to go against the spread. I'm going to believe in the Tampa Bay Bucks and
Took
Baker
them last
Mayfield.
week. Yeah, they got 6.5 points last week, and they won outright.
So they're giving 6.5 this week. They're at home to the Denver Broncos, but the fact that that's still under 7. I think they actually have looked like a pretty good team, and I'm going to say that they can win that game at home by more than a touchdown. Is all you're asking right there? That seems doable to me for Baker and the Bucks. In fact, some people
who are they playing again?
The Broncos.
Broncos. Okay.
Yeah. So some people are saying Baker is playing his way into maybe early season MVP talk.
Wow, a little early. Little early.
But give him a shot here, and so I'll take the Bucks minus 6.5 at home.
You're not going to like this one, Benny, but I'm going to take the L.A. Chargers plus 1.5 points. 2-0 right now, playing really well under Jim Harbaugh. They're in Pittsburgh. It's hard for me to get behind Pittsburgh for some reason. So I'm going to take the Chargers getting
Justin
points.
Fields 2-0, right?
Yep. 2-0. I'm going to take the Chargers.
Counting on the Steelers on this one.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I know you are.
I don't want to see a 3-0 Chargers team all of a sudden be the
toast of the NFL,
the toast of the town. Jim Harbaugh makes no sense to me whatsoever. What does he do? I don't get it.
Why is he good?
Yes. I don't get it. I really don't.
Paulie?
My instinct's always to just look at the worst team and then see who they're playing. Look at Carolina. They're on the road playing the Raiders in Vegas, and the line's 5. I'm just not super sure yet about the Raiders.
Right.
I think I'm going to take Seattle.
Did I pick the wrong week?
No, you're on.
I'm good.
Correct.
Okay. Good.
Seattle is hosting Miami without a quarterback.
No Tua.
We talked about that yesterday, and their backup, who did not even play last year. And Seattle's only favored by 4 points at home.
I got 4.5 here. I think it's pretty safe.
I think I would probably take that.
All right, Seahawks minus 4.5. There you go.
Seattle homer. How much of a Seahawks fan were you growing up?
Not as much as I was a Mariners and a Sonics fan, but they did have a really exciting run in the 2000s. When I was in high school, they won the division every year.
Did you ever go to games?
Yeah, go to one or maybe 2 a year.
You were part of the 12th man?
They didn't really have that yet.
You were at the 12th man?
They hadn't stolen that from Texas A&M
no,
yet.
They had not completely adopted them as their own.
They did have a Super Bowl appearance. They lost. And then other than that.
Was this the new stadium or the old stadium still?
It was the new stadium.
New stadium, okay.
And Mike Holmgren, Matt Hasselbeck, Sean Alexander. And then I moved down here and, became a Chargers fan, and that didn't work out too well for me.
Now it's just you know what? Forget it.
Oh, 100%.
Forget football.
I just give me Red Zone. I'll watch some Red Zone, keep tabs on my fantasy team. Seahawks won a Super Bowl. I wasn't rooting against them. It didn't feel the same.
Just quickly, I know you're partial to the Lions and Dan Campbell.
Yes.
Did you see the story that he's had to move because his address became public, and every time the Lions would lose, people would come and prank him at his house and stuff, so he actually couldn't live there anymore, and he's putting his old house up for sale and moved to more of a private neighborhood where he can. I mean, this is the most beloved coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
Even he's getting it.
He's getting it
when they lose from Lions fans. That's kind of sad. Kind of sad. All right, that is our
hate
football
when the threesome ends.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
And we'll come back. A little early look here, not just at the White Sox, but there's 9 games left. And you actually have pitching probables for the rest of the season now for your San Diego Padres. So we'll finish up just kind of looking ahead to the remaining 3 series for the Padres as we lead you into the roundtable. It's all coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan. Yeah, you get a pack.
Got one today.
You don't even All right, just a reminder, the Padres' magic number sits at
5.
5, correct. Can it go lower today, even though the Padres don't play?
Yes.
Yes, it can.
It can.
Is it going to? No. Because you would need the Atlanta Braves with Chris Sale on the mound to lose for that magic number to lower to 4. But there are some games to pay attention to today. The Braves play at the Reds, wrap up that series at 10:10 a.m. So that's like 30 minutes from now. We'll during the roundtable, we can follow some live baseball action. The Dodgers wrap up their series in Florida against the Miami Marlins at 1:40 p.m. They have Jack Flaherty on the mound. The Diamondbacks open a 4-game series in Milwaukee against the NL Central champion Milwaukee Brewers.
The very hungover.
Might be a good time to catch them today, but
put a little bet on the Mets today.
Now, remember, the Brewers are still playing for a potential bye in the first round.
True.
They're the 3rd seed.
That's
so these
true.
are important games for Milwaukee, and
they are hungover today.
Not an easy series to have to go to a red-hot team. So Arizona's got a tough 4 games.
Arizona is playing Milwaukee.
Arizona's playing Milwaukee. Tough 4 games. While the Padres are home to the White Sox.
Yeah.
I mean, it's baseball, you don't know, but advantage Padres over the next weekend. And then the Phillies and the Mets open a 4-game series at Citi Field in
today.
New York.
Oh, that's a good one.
4:15 today.
That is a good one. Do we have pitching matchups for that one today?
Let's see. I didn't write down the pitching matchups, but I assume we absolutely do. And that is going to be Taijuan Walker and Luis Severino.
Interesting. Okay.
In the first game of that series. Speaking of pitching matchups, we also have probables for the rest of the season for your San Diego Padres, and we can get to those right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Plenty of hot spots on our roads this morning, guys. Southbound 5 Palm Avenue off-ramp. Got emergency crews on scene of a collision. Also traveling on westbound 8 before Waring Road. Collision involving car to pickup truck. It's in the center divide. Westbound 52 Santo Road. Collision blocking that left lane. South 5 Coastline just before Encinitas Boulevard. A collision not showing if lanes are blocked. Also traveling on southbound 15 just before Felicita. A collision in the clearing stage over the right shoulder. Big problem on northbound 15 at Rainbow Valley. Overturn crash blocking the 2 left lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile. You can get tons of benefits, still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. And, oh, by the way, before the end of the program here, we have another pair, our family 4-pack, actually, of tickets to give away to the Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow Party this Saturday at Pechanga Arena. Tickets available at AXS.com, but you can call and win them now. Paulie will answer your call. Second caller, 833-288-0973, is going to win the 4-pack of tickets to the Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Saturday at Pechanga Arena. So only the matchups for the White Sox series have actually been announced, always subject to change. But Joe Musgrove against Garrett Crochet tomorrow. So Padres are getting the White Sox absolute best to start this series. Then on Saturday, if the Padres stay on pace, it'll be Martin Perez against Chris Flexen. I think he's like 2-14 this year. But his ERA's 5. It's not like it's 11 or something.
He's on a really, really bad team.
Yes. Wins don't mean a lot. Losses don't mean a lot. They're just on a bad team. And then Yu Darvish against someone named Burke. I don't know anything about him on Sunday.
Someone named Burke.
Yeah, that's your Crochet should scare you a little bit. He's not going to probably go 9 innings.
Sean Burke.
Sean Burke, thank you.
From Worcester.
Probably not going to go 120 pitches. They're going to be careful with him. My recommendation tomorrow is try to drive up his pitch count early, make him take him out in the 4th inning, and if it's still close at that point, go after a bullpen that is was so hard up that they picked up Enyel De Los Santos after he was traded by the Padres and released by the Yankees, is now on the old friend alert on the White Sox.
And I believe they went extras yesterday.
13.
13. So they're
day off today, I believe.
Day off today. They're still pretty beat. Look, you got to handle business against those guys.
Yeah.
What do you have for us in the roundtable today, Benny? That's what I want to know.
Let me just quickly looking at the Dodgers series because I teased the rest. If they stay on how they've been going, it would be Michael King against Landon Knack in the first game.
Dub.
Dylan Cease against Jack Flaherty in the second game. And Joe Musgrove against Walker Buehler in the third game.
Dubs.
You like them. You like those matchups.
All day long.
No Yamamoto, who has he's been pretty good in his first 2 starts coming off the injured list, but Padres likely to miss him in that series.
Then it would be Perez against Merrill Kelly, Yu Darvish against Jordan Montgomery, and Michael King against Rodriguez to end the season.
Right. Who knows if those games are meaningful, though? Right. You know, you do. If they were, it looks like you'd probably miss Zach Gallen, but you might have to face him in the first game of a playoff series on Tuesday.
Well, and if it goes down to the wire and all that, if we're still scrapping for seeding or whatever else, yeah, man, Michael King, kind of the odd man out in the playoffs, I would imagine, after a final game of the season start, which would automatically relegate him to the bullpen. He's not getting a game 1, game 2, or game 3 start. So you get a day off.
If it comes down to it, was talking about it. You could very well see him maybe in a different role.
Yeah, but I mean,
that means things aren't going well.
So that's the other thing is you have to be careful of. They finish up the season on Sunday, yes, and then the playoffs start Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So you're off Monday. So Michael King throws on Sunday. He's off doing his regular post-start routine on Monday. When's he ready? When's he ready for 2 innings out of the bullpen or 3 innings? Maybe.
Unless something goes wrong between now and next Sunday.
Or
I would imagine you're probably not going with any of your pitchers in that last game of the season. Unless you have a chance to win the division. And then, you go for it. You win the division. You don't have to play for a week.
Right. Maybe he throws 2 innings on Sunday.
So I would think that they'll hold just about everybody out that last game. If they've already clinched home field advantage, which they can do, their magic number for that is 8.
Yep.
So if they take care of business, that should be done long before the last day of the season. Remember, Diamondbacks have to go to Milwaukee for 4. And you split that series. That's not a bad result for the Diamondbacks. Padres take 3 from the White Sox. Your magic number is already down to 3 just to clinch home field advantage at that point.
That's exactly right.
You don't need the entire week to get three wins and 3 Diamondbacks losses. So
now, question though, who? And I guess we'll see how it all plays out. But who? If everything's all wrapped up, what do you do on that Sunday?
You call Matt Waldron back up. You
can call.
Yeah.
Is there?
He wouldn't be on the playoff roster.
But
you
like
can make moves.
You can make
some moves.
Just like in June.
But when you send somebody down,
I think you can bring them back up for the playoffs.
Roster.
Yeah, I think the playoff roster is just a totally separate
everything's
thing.
scratched.
Yeah, you start from scratch.
This is who we're listing on a.
You can take anybody available in your roster in your organization for the playoffs, and then name your playoff roster.
Okay. That makes sense then.
So, you might call someone up to start that game if it didn't mean anything, or maybe
they just start calling guys from Peoria. Hey, we need you to drive on down here. You're making your debut.
Hey, do you feel like playing tonight? Because you're in the lineup, bud. I'd love it.
So, all right, you want a little preview of the round
give us a taste.
Let's see. How about, since we were just talking about it, one of the questions I'm going to bring up is, assuming the Padres do end up in a wild card matchup, which potential opponent would you most like to avoid?
Oh, we did this last week.
You did? Yeah. See, I wasn't here last week. I should have listened through the entire roundtable. All right, scratch that question. Who was your answer?
Who do we want to avoid? I said Arizona.
You want to avoid Arizona?
Yeah.
Has that changed in the last week?
It has changed a little bit.
Now you want to avoid
now it's the Mets.
The Mets?
Yeah. Everything
Eno
changes.
said the Braves actually have the more dangerous playoff roster, probably. I mean, you said yourself.
They're nasty.
In a 3-game series, who wants to face Chris Sale in one of those games?
And Max Fried and the...
I don't know. I think the answer might be the Braves.
Could be.
Hopefully they don't even make the playoffs. You don't have to worry about it. I don't think they're going to get up to where the Padres play, but I think I might rather take my chances with either the Diamondbacks or the Mets.
Yep.
Than having to play the Braves in a short series.
Yeah, man.
Now, a 7-game series might be different, but in a short series, I think the Braves might be the answer there. All right, scratch that question. All right. With the switch of Jackson Merrill up to 5th in the batting order, and kind of the usual lineup, has Mike Schilt optimized?
We did that last week.
I haven't finished the question yet.
Go ahead.
Said, has Mike Schilt optimized the lineup? Would you make any more changes prior to the playoffs?
Yeah, we did that.
You did that one too?
No, I'm just kidding. We didn't do that.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's just going to freak you out.
I'm all ready for
Do you have, is a playoff rotation question in there?
No.
Okay, good.
Is a playoff rotation a sandwich?
That's a really good one. You can eat fork spoon also. What else? I want the answers to the test, so just give them to me now. People can know what to expect. It's a tease.
I don't think there are any more changes necessarily coming to the lineup. I think Mike Schultz is done. Could you optimize it a little bit more?
Yes,
possibly?
that's a good question. Good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that they made the Jackson Merrill switch. He has not reacted poorly at all.
Jake has not reacted more favorably either.
That's true. But if that's the case, you probably want him lower in the order as to begin with.
For sure.
Yesterday against the left-hander, you got Manny moved up to third.
Yep.
I didn't love Donovan Solano in the fourth until I guess he went back to back.
Yeah.
Then it looked fine, but I wasn't sure that was the right spot necessarily. And will you do the righty-lefty different lineups in the playoffs probably?
Oh, yeah.
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 What's your just quick, this wasn't a question, but what's your catching situation for the playoffs?
Higgy. Mostly Higgy.
Mostly Higgy, not a split.
Not an even split.
Campy's got an over 1,000 OPS down to AAA already. He hit a home run yesterday.
Don't do this.
I'm not bringing him back up necessarily, but he has hit well down there, which is better.
He's hit better.
He's hit well.
He's hit better.
He's actually hit well down there.
I've got what's his numbers?
Over 1,000 OPS.
No, what's his numbers? What's he like? Where is it? What are his stats?
All I have is his OPS.
Okay.
I mean, 1,000 OPS is going to be good. Whatever. A lot of on base, a lot of slug. At AAA. Again, it's AAA.
It's great place to hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's hit well. Had 4 hits yesterday. That helped for sure, including a home run.
Because I had a buddy text me yesterday his stats, and they weren't great.
Well, the 4 hits and a home run yesterday, I'm sure.
That will do it. Yes, that's true. That's true. Good day. One good game.
He hasn't been there that long, so one good day can tend to skew.
That's true.
The results.
Yeah, look, I honestly think it's mostly Higgy and Diaz being there to spell him. But I think you do need to use both catchers in the postseason this time.
Which they didn't last time.
Which they did not at all. Talk about this, some real pros next.
All right, the roundtable is coming up next. Paulie, great job today as always. We will see you tomorrow, Friday, for the next edition of Ben and Woods at 6 a.m. For everybody else, stay tuned. Our commercial-free Roundtable Pizza Padres Roundtable is right around the corner on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Talk to you in about 5 minutes.